Thursday night, 8 p.m. at Levity Comedy Club in West Nyack. It's up in Rockland County if you're in the burbs, or if you want to just pop out of the city for the night, come see us live on stage. It's our first time back doing the podcast live since coronavirus. So me and Feits will be up there doing our voicemails, Am I the Asshole, Top Fives. It's your favorite show live on stage. Click the link in the description to get tickets. Come on out and see us. We'll see you there.
There's a strong amount of people that are listening to this that have probably watched a Peter North compilation of him coming on chicks' face. Hey, the funniest is when he's doing it and it just keeps coming out and the girl starts going. She goes out of character and she just starts laughing.
Yeah, she breaks.
She's like, what is happening?
Don't break.
She's like Jimmy Fallon on SNL. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And you know he's sitting there like, I'm not even halfway done. We've got like 7 more ropes to go.
Are you ready for this?
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. We're back in action after a week off. Hope you enjoyed the best of episode. Today, we've got the Spittin Chicklets. All 3 of them. Biz Nasty, Ryan Whitney, Rear Admiral. All 3 of them on the show in what was one of my favorite interviews of the year. Without spoilers, I will tell you, I asked the question to the guys, if you were not doing Chicklets, if you didn't play hockey and now Chicklets, what would you do? And Paul Bissonnette's answer is magical.
I forgot all about this.
When
you were like, I was like, I didn't know where you were going with it. I was like, oh, I wonder why. That interview was so long ago that I just don't remember.
I know. We did it a couple weeks ago before the break. We wanted to hold on to it because we want to simultaneously air it with their Answer the Internet, which is out right now and is even funnier than the interview. So you can go, when you're done listening to this, head over to the Answer the Internet YouTube and watch that. Make sure you subscribe. Motherfucker. So the subscription thing on Answer the Internet is crazy because KFC Radio is one thing. Because KFC Radio's got some work to do. We're at 70,000 now. Oh, and by the way, because we did crack 70,000, I'm going to do a YouTube live AMA, Ask Me Anything. So we'll set that up soon. Where I don't care anymore. I will answer whatever the fuck you want. So come on over and ask me questions.
But you can only ask a question if you've been subscribed.
Right. You have to, in order to subscribe, it's a subscriber-only comment section. So if you want your question answered, you got to subscribe. But I understand that one because it's like we get like 95% of our views are from people that are unsubscribed. But Answer the Internet has 250,000 subscribers, and it's still a fuck ton of views of people who don't subscribe. So if we could just
you said 5% are subscribed, right?
Yeah.
That 95% of people who watch Answer the Internet are, I guess that makes sense because those go viral and get outside the bubble. But all the more maddening because if just a fraction of those people subscribed, we'd have over 1 million subscribers on Answer. So Answer the Internet should be a 1 million subscriber product.
It will.
It will, but it's almost like, why is it not? It's like Barstool is just so behind on the YouTube, but the names that we've got and the shit that we've got your favorite comics and celebrities saying is second to none. There's just no other series out there that's getting the people of that caliber to say the ridiculous shit. And we're rolling out. We got Soder and Gillis kick things off. We got Chicklets next week. We got Ari Shaffir. I mean, everybody's coming through. So season 4?
I was going to say
4 technically. 4.
Season 4 is cooking. So
3 got cut short.
But please go subscribe if you do so. But yeah, we're back, baby. But Ryan Whitney's reaction to Biz's answer of what he would be doing if he wasn't a hockey player is like, that's why they're the funniest. Those guys, you could tell that was their first time ever on. We've done, I think Rear Ads has been on early on. I think we've talked to a couple of them here and there, but we've never had all the Chicklets on. You can tell, as good as those guys are talking about hockey, that they just want to let it rip and talk like that's where I always love. What I love most about KFC Radio is that we don't. It's like what's it called? A gift and a curse, or a double-edged sword, or one of those fucking phrases where it's like, yeah, being as broad as we are has probably hurt us in some ways, business-wise or whatever, but also not having a fucking niche, not having something you have to talk about.
Talk about this.
Not having to do anything. That's honestly, that's the goal in life, right? Like when people say, like, if you won the lottery, like, what would you do? Would you continue to work? I'm like, well, yeah, but then I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like what sucks about work is not like work is good. You get you have a goal and you fulfill it and you keep busy and you know, it's the feeling of having to do it that sucks. if I could do this shit for fun and know that I don't really need to, then it becomes amazing.
Yeah, you can fire me whenever the fuck you want.
Right, right. And it's like you don't worry about ads, you don't worry about money coming in and revenue in any job. It's like, I don't think I would continue, selling insurance if I had $1 zillion. But if I was doing anything that I somewhat enjoyed, it's my choice. Mm-hmm. That's really all life's all about.
I can stop whenever I want. I don't need you at all.
At all. Period. That's also why sometimes doing nothing, there's like, there can be no darkness without light. I feel like doing nothing can become overkill when you have permanently nothing.
Yes.
It's like the best part about nothing is that you don't have to do all those other things. If all those other things disappear, it's like, well, now I feel like I should be doing something. At least that's how I feel. I get like grass is always greener type vibes. I'm dropping all the euphemisms today, but it's like as long as you don't have to do it, you can do whatever the fuck you want. So anyway, great answers from them. Very funny interview. We'll do our voicemails. We got top 5s coming our way. But first there's been a lot of shit that's gone on over the break. Johnny's back with a tan.
I got a tan. It's a fucking tan. I'm tan right now. It's crazy that anyone disagrees with me.
If you're watching on YouTube,
clearly tan.
Please comment. Let's have a debate in the comment section. Is John tan? The switch from the orange shirt was a great move. Earlier, John was wearing like a burnt orange Texas Longhorn shirt.
I'm not sunburned. I'm tan.
And he was under some fluorescent lighting. And you looked straight Oompa Loompa.
I looked like a Oompa fucking Loompa. There were some orange tones.
People were making fun of John to the point that he said he was going to slit Casey Smith's throat. Said, I will slit your throat straight up.
There was a big knife right there.
Nick moved the knife. Nick took the knife away, being like, well, you never know with him. Could be. I mean, look, you are bright red.
It's the fucking lighting in this office.
No, well, what it is you look how red your face is, John. Wait, is that altered? That's legitimately not touched up.
No, that's not touched up.
Holy shit, John. No. The fact that you ever tried to say that this was...
because I'm getting worked up and I yell a lot.
I was going to say, that's what it is. It's you screaming that you're going to murder Casey Smith and the blood is pouring out of your fucking face.
I have a fucking nice... crispy tan right now.
You went like fucking Dennis in the suburbs today. You were screaming, and that was who came over. Somebody came over who's not really part of the gang or whatever, and was like, "Your hair's orange."
Oh, Tommy Smokes.
Oh, it was Smokes. Sorry. He was like, "Yeah, your hair looks orange," and you were like, "What? No, it's blonde. It's lighter."
My hair's blonde.
It was this double whammy. It was like Casey came over and was like, "You're sunburned," and then Tommy was like, "Your hair's orange." You're like,
I get passionate about sunburn stuff because I'm the person who usually gets sunburned. I always have people tell me you got a sunburn, and I'm like, I fucking know. It feels like my skin is on fire. I don't have to tell me that I got a sunburn. I know I'm aware of the sunburn, but when I don't have one, don't tell me I have one because my skin doesn't hurt. So therefore, it's impossible to be sunburned if I'm not in pain. I have a tan.
Let me just say two things. Number one, for the flip calendar next year, mark down July 12th, 2021. I get passionate about sunburn stuff.
It's like most of my summers is spent with someone coming up and going, "Oh, got a sunburn, huh?"
And
I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking know."
And that is my second point. And part of the reason you can roll it in there with the rest of why summer sucks. The Office Cubicle Chronicle type of like, oh, get a lot of sun, huh? Oh, somebody got a sunburn. Oh, did you forget to wear sunblock? Like, we're just gonna comment on this all day, aren't we? We're just gonna talk about this all fucking day. Why? Why do people care? And even a tan. I remember being at Deloitte back when I used to go out on the beach all summer, every weekend. So I was like fucking Puerto Rican. I would come back looking brown. And it was like I wish I didn't because it was just constantly commented on. I would be like, stop talking about my skin color. Talk about who I am as a man. My skin color doesn't define me, goddammit. If I could change one thing about the world, the one thing it wouldn't be hunger in African countries. It would be I would like to go back to the time where pale was hot.
Oh,
like those Victorian
British,
times where it was like
themselves?
Yeah, because it was like if you're tan, that means you're a peasant who's out there working under the sun,
right.
And meanwhile the ballers are inside eating fucking like cucumber sandwiches, just being fat and pale. Imagine if we could just make fat and pale hot again. And because really, I would like to know.
Well, right now I wouldn't do any good.
Oh, because you're so tan.
Because right now I'm too tan.
Because you're crispy tan.
Right now I would be told I'm a disgusting peasant. And because they'd be like, oh, he's been out there all day, and you're goddamn right I have. But sure, come November when this tan's finally gone.
That's what sucks. It goes so quick. We get tan, and by like September 10th we're gonna be pale again.
Yeah.
It's like getting skinny, like losing weight. Like it takes forever to lose 10 pounds. It takes 5 seconds to put it back on. But man, back when it was just like, oh, damn. That motherfucker's translucent. I'm gonna suck that guy's dick. Yeah, that's what I want. I want people to look at me and want to fuck me because I'm pale. That would be the greatest. I wonder if there is something. Do you think that there's something like actually going on in your mind where like tan skin is actually more what's the word for it? Like appealing to the human eye, or is it just?
Is.
But is it, or is it
just marketing from the sun?
I don't know, because there was a time where the marketing of society said like pale is hot. I mean, not hot, but pale is desirable. But is there something where?
But now you see pale skin, like you
it just looks gross.
My veins. Like
I agree.
Veins, they're in my body. Why can I see them? My veins should not be visible, yet they are, because usually not right now.
Because I'm crispy tan. You know what? It is just weird too that that your blood's blue.
There's some red in there too, right?
It's like a purplish.
Like different veins,
and then it hits the air and it gets red. That's at least what I understood to be true.
That's bullshit.
Sounds like an urban legend, kind of.
Well, no, I mean it's what happened. I've cut myself. It comes out red.
Well, it definitely comes out red, but I'm like, is it in there just? I mean, are your veins blue because it's just like fucking blue? I mean, like my veins look the same color as my shirt.
Yeah.
So technically, you could be like, this shirt is blood. Like, what color is that? Blood blue.
Blood blue.
That's the real
blood
answer.
Blue is a fucking cool color.
I think it would be so much cooler if it just stayed blue. If you bled blue, I'd be a cutter. I'd be like, look at that. Like, smear that blue on.
That would be awesome.
Imagine if I was a cutter and I just had blue all over me.
I wish you bled blue and pissed orange.
What if you bled blue? I would rather bleed blue. I would want to.
I actually do piss orange sometimes.
I would want to pee. You piss orange?
Sometimes, for sure. With a super hangover? Yeah.
Orange?
It's a very.
It's like a
dark yellow.
It's almost like the color of what your skin was. Yeah, like a burnt orange. You know?
It's a tan color.
I would like to bleed blue, pee green, poop pink.
Ugh.
Imagine
I didn't like that.
Like a cotton candy.
I didn't like the way I received those words. What
color you want to shit?
Just had a bad taste in me. I was like, ugh, God, pink shit. Fuck off.
If you could make all your bodily functions colors, what would it be?
Okay. I'm actually gonna stray from the pink of the pissing orange because I do that often enough.
Not healthy.
No, it's super unhealthy. Okay, so I'm gonna go. If I am having trouble even thinking of colors.
Your boy is brain dead. And it's not well, I don't know.
I was scared to say words the first 5 minutes of the show. I am rusty as hell.
Yeah, no, the rust is real. We always get off. We get 1 week off for Christmas. We get 1 week off in July, and every year it's gotten harder to keep coming back. Like a couple more years, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I just won't be able to come back. I couldn't do ad reads. I couldn't do 1 Minute Man. I was like, blah, blah, blah,
I just can't. I'm like looking around the room, like hoping to see a color.
You know what this is? This is like right now the Mets were getting hot, and I was like, oh, the All-Star break's gonna like stop their momentum. That's what happened.
Yeah,
we had a lot of momentum. And it all was stopped by our All-Star break, our mid-year break. This motherfucker can't think of colors.
I'm gonna go with.
Like, just say Nick is literally bringing up colors on Google for him.
Okay, this is good. Well, okay. Hey, well now we have a new issue. That purple isn't purple. Purple's blue.
That is the same exact color as the blue.
Yeah. Okay. So here it is. I am going to see. I was gonna say shit green, but I do that sometimes too. So
it's incredible anybody has sex with you, or me.
Okay. All right. Fuck it. Here it is, baby. Right off the rip, we're just gonna go. I want to bleed green. I want to pee purple. I want to poop white.
White poop. Like little cotton balls.
Yeah, I feel like.
You know what? I'm switching my answer. I want to bleed black. Imagine that, like just like a pitch, like midnight black. I feel like I'd be like Venom, like a monster or something.
I think blood does kind of get that dark if you bleed enough.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's like when you're dead.
Yeah,
like when you get like a gunshot to the belly.
That knife I threatened to slit Casey's throat with. If you let me get at you with that thing,
you're bleeding black.
You'll bleed some black. Yeah.
Do you ever have black gum?
Black gum.
It's like licorice flavor, but
no,
it's so gross.
Chew gum.
What?
I don't really chew gum.
Anti-gum guy, huh?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Well, that's a stupid thing. If you told me you didn't like it, but what don't you understand?
Well,
about gum?
I think I like to save my sugar intake for things I'm.
Oh, that's fair.
Eating.
I used to. I
do the fucked up stuff in my mouth. That
you have enough mouth like habits.
Yeah. Which, by the way, 10 days.
10 days, no, nothing?
No dip.
Not even Black Buffalo?
No, nothing.
Wow.
Cold turkey.
Congratulations, not putting fucking, dirt in your mouth, man. Proud of you.
I'm going to do it again.
I was going to say. Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm quitting.
The reason he said 10 days is because that's it. Yeah. He reached his goal, and that's all there is to it, folks. I used to think there was a time where I didn't chew gum because I felt like I was tricking my stomach. I feel like I was getting hungrier because my stomach thought I was going to get food. It's like my stomach was like, all right, the chewing's happening. Where's the food? And it never came.
I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like it's like cock teasing your stomach.
You're giving your blue
balls
in your stomach.
Blue balls, not real.
Not real.
Not a real.
Not
thing.
a real thing. That always gets people fired up. Blue
Big
balls.
time.
As someone who has had erections that did not
as someone
finish,
with balls, I can tell you,
I've never been in any pain in my testicle area.
Now
because of that.
Now the blue balls truthers will come at you and tell you that there is such a thing as blue balls. I do believe there is a medical thing that can happen where, like, if you are right on the precipice of releasing and you don't, that something can happen with your prostate and wherever the cum comes from, the semen's over here, the cum's over here, I don't know, wherever. And there can be something where it's like, filled up or backfiring or whatever. That there is some medical truth to it. What you're telling the girl who won't blow you is blue balls, that's not real. When you tell a girl, like, oh, you got to finish me, it's like, no, you just want to get your rocks off. That's not blue balls. But there's always occasionally a person who's like, no, it's true, man. Like, I was in like a car accident and like something hit my balls. And it's like, yeah, okay, there are medical things that can happen with your cum. But
car accident?
No, I'm just saying that there's like,
I was jerking off behind the wheel one day. Suburban, ran a red light and fucking smoked me.
Could happen.
Yeah, no, could happen.
You ever jerk off in the car?
I've jerked off once in the car.
Driving?
Yeah.
While driving?
While driving.
Yeah, I jerked off in traffic once.
I didn't do it in traffic. I did it on the open road.
Yeah, well, that's much safer because I mean, I'm pretty sure people could see me. What you need to do is, if you ever are going to jerk off in the car, you need to jerk off with equal height alongside you. Like if you're in a sedan and two sedans are next to you,
you don't really have much control over that.
I know. Yeah. That's the problem. So, I'm like, all right, I'm good. I'm in the left lane. I'm on the BQE. I was on the Belt Parkway. And so to my right is like a car that's, the same height as me. So I can just kind of sit there and as long as I don't do too much shoulder, you can't tell anything's going on. But then all of a sudden
you were doing it there? Yeah, see, I can tell there now.
But think about if I was in a car. Think about it, but right now you're looking for it. But if I'm in a car, so stupid. But then the problem, so I'm next to, let's say, a fucking, a Toyota Camry, right? And I'm like this, and it's like, they're not paying attention. All of a sudden, the flow of
traffic. That on the bottom of the table.
Now all of a sudden, the flow of traffic changes though, and I'm next to some fucking guy who's got like a truck kit on. He's raised. He can see right down into my window. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Too much traffic. I can't believe I was one point so goddamn horny. I just couldn't wait to get off. To get off.
Bro, I can believe it.
I mean, yes, I can, but that's pathetic. We are pathetic beasts who are completely dictated by how much comes in our body.
Times I've been on like a subway and been like, boy, if there was a bathroom in here, I'd have fired one off.
I feel like if you could have something on your body, let's do an ad read real quick. We gotta pay some bills before we go. Well, it's New Amsterdam, so we can talk about that no matter. New Amsterdam's down with us talking about cum. It's fine. New Amsterdam Vodka with the chiclets on. It's perfect timing. Pink Whitney has been, the most important liquor, arguably, to ever exist. Not even kidding. Like not important, but most successful. I would say that vodka itself is the most important alcohol of all time, and then Pink Whitney comes along with a little twist. Dana Beers was rocking the Pink Whitney jersey, the Chiclets Pink Whitney jersey at his chugging event for the Bucks, making amends for his ridiculous post of a competitor. So I feel like Dana's back. He made good with Chiclets and New Amsterdam. So you can go get Pink Whitney. You can also get the Barstool Sports co-branded vodka bottle for this year. It was for 4th of July. It's the red, white, and blue, but obviously now past the summer's over, according to Polly Feidelberg.
That's right.
But you can still get your summer bottle of New Amsterdam vodka with the Barstool Sports branding. So go get some New Amsterdam. It's the official vodka of Barstool Sports. If you could have something on your body, if you could have one gas tank, if you will, for something in your body that you could see, what would it be?
If I could have a gas, I mean...
And the reason I say that is because I was thinking, and you don't really need, you know when you're hungry, you know when you're this, you know when you're that, but to see it and know it, it's like when, like my favorite thing about cars these days, having grown up, being old enough to know how old cars were, just having a fucking little stick tell you how much gas is left. Now it's you have this many miles before you're fucking out. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, all right, now I know. When you're on E, you really do have a long fucking time to go. So having the actual numbers and display is important. If I could have a little meter that lets you know, bro, you got to get some cum out of your body. You're about to make some bad decisions. You're not thinking with a clear head. Your cum meter is way too high.
Too full.
I would maybe do that.
Dude,
I would maybe do that.
I think that's probably the smartest one to have.
Well, my 2 would be either the cum, which is almost like a reverse NBA Jam turbo. You want your turbo to be full. You want your cum tank to be empty. But that or hydration.
Hydration, that one, you know that one too, right?
Well, you know all these things unless you're a fucking moron. But,
I don't know the cum one. I don't know how much cum I have in there.
No, but you know when you need to get one out.
I don't like that phrase.
Yeah.
That's like Dana Beers saying he was the king of blowjobs.
Yeah.
I know how much cum I got in me.
No, I don't know. It's even worse.
That is unbelievable out of context. It's like you've just
I
been
have
getting
no idea how much cum is
all
in me.
week. None of us do. None of us do. It's a funny statement, but it applies to all of us. Right now, you have no idea how much comes in your body.
It is.
God, it's crazy that chicks have to get cum in them. That's nuts. It's just the fact that girls have to get dick and get cum is gross. The fact that you guys just got a hole that gets filled up is really unappealing. Think about, that feeling of I mean, I don't know. I guess when I clean my ears, I actually like it. Maybe I'd like getting fucked. I don't know. But for the most part, I feel like getting stuff stuck in a hole.
That's quite a leap. I like a Q-tip. Maybe I'll like a cock in my ass. You got.
That's you know what? You're trying to get your girl to do anal. That's a good first step, guys. What that feeling we get the Q-tip in right? It's just like when we do some anal. But the fact, I feel like penetration in general is
it's a violent thing.
Yeah. I can't believe you guys like that. Just fill up your holes. Yikes. And then afterwards, when you got to do the waddle, I like when they go
can't sneeze,
like they hold their breath, like as if it's gonna suck it up into your pussy deeper. That does nothing, girls. Anyway, what's your meter?
Boy, that is.
You could do hunger. You could have your. What if you had your BAC right on your little meter on your wrist? You could be like, yeah, I could do another shot.
That's a good answer.
No. You know why that's a bad answer? Because you will get fucked up because you want to run it up.
You want to try.
You want, yeah. You would be like, oh, pussy.
We had that in
when you just had the gun, right?
With the breathalyzer,
yeah,
and it was like one
dangerous
weekend, and it was like, you know what, maybe this isn't a great idea.
That's how that's so dangerous. You guys were young and dumb and stupid enough to do it, but it was and even though you're that dumb, you still knew it was a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's how bad of an idea it was. Because even the morons in college knew, oh, someone's going to the hospital if we keep this up.
It was like we did like one weekend. I'm like, guys,
never again. All right, so this is my final answer then, because that led me to now that I'm much more on 3 Chi Delta 8 than drinking, I want to know like that. Not whatever your BAC for like weed is, because then like you take an edible, you'll never have that like, should I take another half ever again? You could be like, oh, okay, it's just not there yet. You know what I mean? I need like a tank and a timer. If I could take an edible and I'll be like, you have 47 minutes till this kicks in, I'd be like, okay, now we're good.
I was gonna say, watching that though, that would give me the weed anxiety where it's like you're like, wait, is it slowing down? Is it slowing down? No,
yeah.
No.
You know what that would be like? That would be like when you use Google Maps or Waze in New York City. You can't do that. It's like 17 minutes, and then all of a sudden it's like 35 because it keeps going up. So you'd be like, all right, like 10 minutes until my weed kicks in, and then it's like all of a sudden, tick, 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 tick. Or Uber when it's like 8 minutes away, and all of a sudden it's 3 minutes, then it's 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. That would be all over the map. But if I could know when I'm about to be high, and that final countdown, like 3, 2, 1.
Dude, I had a buddy this weekend go take an edible and be like, all right, I'm gonna try to make it to Target back before it kicks in.
Yeah.
And he went with his girl. And then he comes back in and just with a big smile on his face goes, didn't make it. I pull over and you like switch who was driving.
We on senior year we used to cut out of school. Not cut out of school, we would just take our lunch break, and rather than go eat food, we would just go get drunk. Mm-hmm. And we would like, so my one buddy, he was always like the guy who drove us, and we would drive to like our friend's house, and he wouldn't drink. We would all kind of get fucked up for like an hour. And then he would like slam like a cup of vodka and be like, "Let's go, like quick! Hey, we'll get back to the school in a couple minutes. I won't, it won't hit me until then." Like, boy, we were too young to be doing shit like that. Like 18 years old, he was like,
just gutting a full of vodka.
Okay, let's drive. Okay, let's get into some topics. Let's talk about some things. And then I got 2 personal stories, but I feel like you went like totally off the grid.
I was complete.
Did you watch anything? Did you see like any of the soccer, McGregor, any of that shit?
Yeah, I watched most of the soccer.
Okay.
I watched most of the soccer, watched McGregor.
But you just stayed off the internet.
Yeah, I was deep off the grid. It was awesome. I wasn't even bringing my phone out most days. It was
a beautiful thing.
It was really, really great. It does, like, there are things you miss. I basically don't know anything that happened. Like, the main events I watch, but I don't know anything that happened on the
reaction.
Internet. I'm my dad.
Yeah,
right. I don't know any little internet stories. I don't know, but like, yes, I watch the main events and the fights, things like that.
Yeah.
But it does backfire sometimes though. Like I all day I was like dreading doing therapy on Friday, and then I went there and I sat in on it, and she just didn't show. And she had said
she had texted you, I can't make it.
Like, I'm not gonna be here.
Oh, by the way, I'm done with email.
Yeah.
I don't do email anymore.
I don't really do much email.
Now that I'm not, like, when we used to blog, Gmail, Gchat was like my favorite thing. My favorite of all my technological like platforms. Now that I just don't do email. You need me? Put it this way. If you don't like have my number to text me, no, I don't care about your business. Whatever it is you're trying to, we're not close enough, So get closer to me, then you can text me, and then we'll do whatever it is you're bothering me about.
Just forward them to me. Forward them to me.
Just email Nick. If you want to talk to me, email Nick.
Bro, I'm out on emails. I'm out on texting.
Dude, here's my problem. I need to break everyone in my life, and it's my own fault because you've seen me. I text like too much and I reply too much. But like the other day, what was I doing? I just put my phone down for like an hour. I came back to 24 text messages.
Oh, that's insane.
In an hour. And it wasn't there was like one group chat that probably was firing off a bunch, but for the most part it was like 10 or 12 like conversations, like different texts, and I was like, what the fuck is this, man? Leave me alone. But I've enabled it by replying to people. I need to break them and not reply. It's almost like what I need to do to like my friends and family, what I feel like you should do to girls or anybody in a relationship. Like, in the beginning when you like somebody, you text them all the time, and and you probably shouldn't, because inevitably when you're out of the honeymoon phase, now you've set a standard. You know what I mean? Now it's like I got to do like good morning and good night texts with you after like how many years are we together? You know what I mean? So you almost should proactively be like, I do want to text you, but I'm not going to for the sake of the long haul. That's what I need to do with my friends and family right now. I'm just going to not reply to you, and it's nothing personal. It's just to break you from texting me.
I think you should do that. I strongly suggest it.
Think about the world back in the day, man, where it's just like, you're dating someone. It's like you go on a date or you see them or whatever, and then for whatever reason, you're living in separate apartments. Like, all right, see ya, and that's it. You go home, and then I don't know. You call their landline like a couple days later when you want to hang out. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. And now
this is what I've been advocating for. You wouldn't allow me to do it.
No,
now you've broken.
No. Well, I still believe that the best communication can be texting, but if it could be within the frequency of like old school life.
Phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that too. That's fine. If you want to send me one text a week, that's okay.
The amount though of like, when people are like, well, gotta have your cell phone like for like emergency purposes. It's like, well, what there were emergencies before cell phones, and people would just be like, I don't know, find a payphone or they used to just shout. I love that in movies. Somebody call a doctor, and somebody would fucking call a doctor. I guess I don't know, but yeah, I need to break that down. Anyway, so the reason I asked was to know if you watch McGregor. I think I'm out on Conor McGregor.
How come?
I don't like him anymore.
Why?
I thought that was a terrible showing, start to finish, the whole process for McGregor this fight. I thought his shit talk was bad and like not clever or witty and repetitive. And then obviously you break your bone and you don't perform well in the fight. And then afterwards, the thing that I don't think you did see. So when Rogan was interviewing Poirier after the fight and McGregor sitting down, like basically waiting his turn, which I thought we were going to get an all-time moment. Mm-hmm. I was like, this dude is not getting carted off right now because he's waiting to like get his turn. And I was like, he's about to cut like a promo from his ass with a broken leg. That's going to be incredible. And we'll talk about that in a second. But while Rogan's talking, there's a new camera angle from someone who was either sitting ringside or ran up on it. Like they're right on the fence, on the octagon. And he's yelling at Poirier and his wife, saying he's going to kill them in their sleep. Which is, and it is funny.
And you're out on this, man?
Yeah. Well, that is what's funny. So when I see it happen, I'm like, and Poirier all week was, not all week, but at the very end was like, I'm all for the shit talk, but when you tell me that I'm leaving in a coffin and I'm never going to see my family again, like that just seems like some sort of unspoken rule that UFC guys don't do to each other. So I understood like his point of view being like, that's trash. And then I'm thinking about it from a trash talk point of view, like you're gonna kill him and his wife in his sleep. But then when I say it out loud, like when we did it on the rundown, I was like, yeah, this is pretty ridiculous. This is so preposterous that it's almost funny to be like, but in terms of trash talk,
I also like picture like he's gonna have to use crutches for this murder.
He's gonna hobble in, and the whole time he's pointing a gun to his head. So he's like, this is not over. You and your wife, you're gonna get it in your sleep. I'm gonna get you and your wife in your sleep. And then so the thought of him like, and then bow. I mean, it is ridiculous.
Bro, if you gotta use crutches to do a murder, that's a funny murder.
I will say, I'll leave it undecided. If he actually murders them, then it's cool. Then it's funny if he actually pulls off the murder. But I thought I like part of the problem here is I like Poirier.
Yeah, I like Poirier too.
So like usually I'm fully Conor. I didn't like Khabib. I don't like his opponent, so I'm like all in on it. But I like Poirier, and I thought he handled himself like perfect. Like when McGregor was calling his wife the husband of the marriage, and he was just like, yeah, I love my husband. It's literally right out of Cinderella Man. At one point, Max Baer says to Russell Crowe like, oh, your wife does all your fighting for you. And because she threw a drink in his face, and he just goes, yeah, ain't she something? And it was like, just totally disarms you, and you look like the cool guy. So he does that. I mean, how many times is Conor going to talk about her in the DMs?
I don't know.
And that is
weird.
And it's like, we all know that she was probably either talking shit or like whatever it was not sexual. Mm-hmm. It was not like, I want to fuck you, I want to suck your dick. And he just kept saying it. And then I thought the interview from like with a broken leg, it just wasn't. I mean, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't be able to do it either. But what I like best about Conor is he's usually funny and witty and clever and like swaggy, and I think that's only when he's winning. I think and I don't blame him for that either. Yeah. But part of me thinks like I don't know if that's ever gonna be that way again.
It's probably. I mean, he's older too, right? He's like 34 now.
And the difference is like you can't be when you make $180 million a year. You can't be that dude anymore. No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you try to put your mental self back in that spot when you were on the come up, you can't do it. Yeah. Because it's just like human. If you have a bad day, you just go, fuck it, I'm going back to my wife on the yacht. As opposed to like, I gotta, like, I'm on welfare, so I need to, you know. So I don't blame him for it. But I just think, like, it's over for him being like that dude. I'll always buy his fights. And maybe he'll have some big moments. He'll probably fight Poirier for the 4th time. Bob Fox was telling me, like, the Nate Diaz thing will always be there. And, like, those are 2 big names that'll always, like, get juice. But I don't think he's ever going to be, like, the champ again or anything.
No,
like, contend for,
I don't think so. I think he's...
Bob says he's always one fight away from a title shot because, like, anybody will give it to him for the theatrics of it all. But I think when you actually when you earn it more than just being... I don't know. I just don't think he's got that... From a casual point of view, of course, because I'm not a real MMA fan. But, like, watching that whole pay-per-view, like, I'd rather watch Homeboy doing the shoey and coming out to Spice Girls. Did you see the rest of the pay-per-view or just the McGregor fight?
Just the McGregor fight.
Dude, this guy. How do you say his name? Tuivosa?
Not sure.
Taya Tuivosa. I'm butchering his name, and I should know it by now. He's an Australian dude. He's a heavyweight. He's fat. Got, like, blubber. And comes out to If You Want to Be My Lover, Wanna Be by Spice Girls. And his thing is every time when he wins, he does a shoey. So he popped up on top of the thing, on top of the octagon, pours the fucking beer, chugs it. I mean, the place was going wild. I swear. I mean, and you see that gut like hanging. Is
it his shoe?
I think it was like his team gave it to him, right? But then on the way back to the
wait, is that pre-fight or post?
No, that was post.
Post-fight.
So
okay.
that was after he won, and he beat Greg Hardy.
Okay.
So everybody, like literally the whole world wanted him to win. He punches Greg Hardy and like knocked his eye out. Does this fucking dance. He's Australian. He's got the accent. Does the shoey. And then on the way back into like the locker room, people just giving him like other people giving the shoes. Like he's chugging out random people's shoes. One guy was like probably like 10, 15 feet above him, just pouring a beer. And he's like, just filling up. I mean, he is gonna be a fucking superstar. There was this other kid who filled in fighting Sugar Sean O'Malley on like 10 days notice. He took like 260 significant strikes. It was like the most ever in UFC. He had 85% like accuracy. He just destroyed this guy's face, and he just wouldn't go down. It was unbelievable. I'm like the biggest fan of this guy ever. Sugar was like running up the score. He's literally pretending to play basketball and dribble and shoot. He's doing spinning kicks because he thought he was gonna like end him in the first round, and this guy just like kept on coming. It was fucking real life Rocky in the MMA.
Did he win?
No. It went to it got stopped. So that was the big thing. It was 4.9 rounds. Like there was 30 seconds left, and the ref stopped it, and everybody was like, "Let him go the distance." And it was like, no, his brain's about to be detached. Like Sugar said, like he was like, "I'm happy he stopped it because I was about to take 20 years off his life if he kept it up." But so like front to back, the whole pay-per-view was awesome, and like Conor was not like was not the reason. That's the first time ever for me that I was like, the rest of these guys actually interest me more in that. But much the way Bob says he's one match away from a title fight, he's probably like one good showing on the mic away from me loving him again.
Yeah.
Because he's just when he is on, he's the fucking funniest in the game. But this was funny too. Watch this. Look at that!
Jesus Christ!
And that was to end the like. Then it was like ding ding ding, but that was like when you're fighting with your brother, you know. It's like, it was a good old fashioned violent time, but yeah. So you're still.
I'm as probably perhaps more casual fan than you. So like I will buy every McGregor fight.
Yeah.
This one like. The 4th of July week was just like hard. Like I didn't even follow any of the lead up. I saw Bob Fox's question obviously, but like I didn't follow the press conference. I didn't really care about that.
Right.
I was like I'm at the beach.
But even that, I feel like because there wasn't much. Usually there's a couple like big moments that are funny or memorable or whatever that do go viral, and I didn't think there was really anything other than you're in my DMs.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean at this point it's like Jake Paul is probably a step closer to getting his fight.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Imagine that.
That would be absurd.
Here's my question.
I bet it wouldn't surprise me anymore.
No, I mean, especially
surprise me at
if that injury is like real bad and like I think it's not. I think it's just a bone break, so it's gonna be like 6 weeks. But if he's like old and injured and all that, and then you can get like more money to do a silly exhibition.
It's so fucked up. Ugh.
The way he broke it.
Yeah.
And Poirier's trying to like kind of take credit for it, being like I that I started that and then like he finished it, which is probably true to some extent. But that's a
that's like like your dad. Like I loosened it.
Yeah, yes.
I loosened.
I did all the work. Yeah. You didn't open that pickle jar. I did. So here's my question then. If you were Poirier, would you fight McGregor for a fourth time? Yeah,
for sure.
I think it's depend. I mean, I guess.
I mean, the paydays he must
the
get,
paydays are
like,
so much bigger with
Dustin
McGregor.
Poirier can't fight anyone else and get. I mean, I'm not saying this from a fighting standpoint, but like, so I can confidently say it, that I would not get another Dustin Poirier fight. Dustin Poirier is fighting someone, I probably wouldn't buy
right, and they get shares of like the total number of pay-per-views, so it matters like who you're fighting. Yeah. So I mean, I just think that like.
You think why? You think he wants to go out on top?
Well, if Poirier like goes on to like win a belt and he's like the champ and shit, I think the best way, and especially now that there's true bad blood between McGregor and him, and you're talking shit about my wife and my family and all that, the best way to piss off Conor McGregor is to be like, oh, you're an afterthought. You're in my rear view, man. Like I'm beyond you. Like you like telling Conor McGregor you're not like you're not the bread anymore. Like I'm on to bigger and better things.
But you are not.
but I'm saying if he wins the title, you know, like if he is that dude, and of course, yes, to the casual fan, no, but like in his world, it's like I'm the champ. I beat you, fucking, you know, I want to beat you for a third time. That's the only reason why I would do it is because he's just gonna keep beating him, and he's gonna make more money, and he's gonna go down in history as the guy who's like, I beat Conor McGregor like 4 times.
Yeah, I ended McGregor.
Yeah, right? Like I just keep beating him. But yeah, I mean that dude, I'm a big Poirier fan now. I like that guy a lot. I feel like if he wasn't fighting McGregor, he would be like a bigger star because it's just like so many people were on Connor's side, you know. Yeah. But there's not much to hate about him.
He is very cool. I like Poirier.
Good looking guy too. If he didn't have the mangled ears, I feel like he'd be. But maybe you know what? I bet you. Where'd she go? I actually want to ask her something now. I wonder. Do you think that fighters' ears, cauliflower ears, is like a turn on to some girls?
I would definitely.
Yeah.
It's like a trick stick scars.
But also those are pretty fucking gross.
They're pretty.
Well, it depends. I mean, he's a good-looking guy on top of it.
Yeah.
If you're just gross and your ears are mangled, I don't know about it. But I feel like you got like a crooked biz nasty nose, you got the cauliflower ears, and you got good-looking otherwise. It's kind of like, oh yeah, that guy fucks.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, then here's a hypothetical. I'm just full of hypotheticals today. If I could, like, guarantee you somehow, snap my fingers, that every girl you come across would find your cauliflower ears attractive, would you take them? You don't have to. You don't have to get them. If I just snap your fingers, and you're gonna have fat filled-in ears. But it's gonna become Jackie. Yeah. Do you think that cauliflower ears, and like wrestlers, do you think that's hot? Like, let's say, like, have you seen Dustin Poirier, the guy McGregor fought? He's like a good-looking guy otherwise.
No, but
so like, is that something you find you'd be like, that's hot, like that dude, like,
I think it's hot if they fight, but I don't think it's. I like the cauliflower ear part's kind of gross. But it is like hot if like.
So, but that's what I mean though. Like in the moment, do you think that? Yeah, show. Like he's a good-looking guy, but his ears are kind of like sticking out.
Oh yeah, he is. No, it's kind of gross.
Then my answer is no.
Yeah. Do you think that most girls would say, no, that's just gross? Like, is it on the same level as like chicks dig scars?
Yeah.
Like if he had a crooked nose from getting it broken every time and his ears are all filled in because he's like a UFC champion, are you like?
But well, it's different if you're a UFC champion.
So you got to be a winner. If you're just a bum who just gets his head beat and you're good looking no matter what. So like okay, so that's a fact.
They're good looking.
So then there could be good looking and you're a loser, good looking and you're a winner. But either way, you're good looking but you have the cauliflower ears.
I think you have to be like a UFC.
You got to be
I think you kind of got to be a winner. It's not like gross. It wouldn't be like a.
So I asked John if I could snap my fingers and make all girls think that his cauliflower ears are hot for some reason, like they just look at it like, oh man, that guy's like rough and tough. Yeah. Would you take it?
I guess so. Like if you're giving me something that like all women find attractive.
Yeah, but the reason I don't think I would take it.
Why?
I think it's gross. I also feel like
I've never
weird.
Felt them, so I don't really know.
Well, I feel like first of all, can you like hear? Right? Like, doesn't it fill in at some point?
KP has it, and he said one time like the earphones fall out of his ear. Like I think
that's what I mean. I bet you there's more things that you don't realize that's weird about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about the
and now that you bring that up, like that sucks. KB is just a fucking like comedy writer now with fucking mangled, filled in ears.
And can't wear headphones.
Right. Like he probably has to wear, the over the ear ones.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's a tough one.
That's like being, would you rather have mangled ears and no longer be in the fight game, or be like tall one who was like 6'10" but never played basketball? Both of those things are pretty inconvenient in regular life. Outside the octagon or outside the hardwood, you just are a freak, bro.
But you, like, if you were a college wrestler or whatever, like, at least you can handle yourself still. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Figure out how to walk.
Right, he's like a giraffe on ice. Yeah. KB can still put you in a fucking guillotine right now and choke me out. Yeah. All right. So I had 2 incidents. It's brought to you by Notion. Not all work collaboration tools are created equal. We know that. I mean, some programs are better, some programs are worse. The ones that are easy, the ones that are difficult. But most of them only specialize. This allows you to organize your information, and this can organize projects that you do, but not across the board. There's not many things that allow you to do your information and your project, talk to your team, build out a wiki, take notes, all these things, and that's where Notion comes in. You can collaborate on notes, documents, projects, and wikis to keep your team on track. Paying for all of those in one single-use tool. If you pay all individually, that gets costly. Notion does not, because it puts it all together. It's an all-in-one team collaboration software that combines everything you need to stay on track, stay on task, in one simple, easy-to-use tool. It's one place where every team, from the engineering all the way down to the sales and the operations, everybody can work together seamlessly. 500 integrated apps, including Google and Slack. Shout out to GChat. GChat's dead now, but GChat was the green dot was the most important thing in my life.
That was.
I never converted to Slack.
Yeah, that was
I don't need it anymore, but I was like, I'm standing my ground.
That was
not doing
the
Slack.
one thing Erica wanted to do.
Yep, she said, I'll ping you on Slack. I said, the fuck you will, bitch. No, you won't. Bitch, you thought. You can catch me on GChat. But Notion has a worldwide community of millions of users creating templates, tutorials, so you'll have all sorts of inspiration all the time on how to get your work done. It may be the missing piece you need to unlock the full potential. So right now they're running a current special for the listeners of KFC Radio. Go to Notion.com. Go to Notion.so, S-O, and use promo code KFC to get $250 off the annual team plan. That's multiple months for free for growing your team. That's Notion.so, and use promo code KFC at checkout for $250. A homeless guy punched me in the back.
What?
Yeah. Homeless fella punched me in the back.
When?
Over the weekend. I'm walking back.
Bro, what did you do to the homeless community?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They don't like me. So I'm walking on 8th Avenue. I was coming back from McDonald's. I had food, my drink. I'm with people, so we're all, we all got our hands full. It was kind of crowded, and I was out I'm crossing. These people are coming up, so it was just like a crowded corner, but not like that bad. But it was kind of like, excuse me, you move this way, I move that way, and then there's this homeless dude. And homeless might be tough, he's not one of those guys like covered in soot, but he's more like mentally ill than anything.
Yeah.
And I could see that like coming up. So he was standing, and I kind of walked by him, and we like kind of were in each other's way, but it wasn't like we didn't bump, we didn't make contact. It was just kind of like I, turned this way and went around him, and he just like kind of whipped around and pow, and just like put a knuckle like in my back, like right at my vertebrae. And it was like I'm holding all this shit. I got 2 drinks in my hand. I got a McDonald's bag on my wrist, and I'm with people. And I was just like, ah, and I was like, the fuck, man. And he was just like mumbling and like growling under his breath, like clearly like on another fucking planet, probably one of these like heroin addicts who are always around the corner from us. But I was like, what? I just got punched in the back. I just got like a knuckle to the vertebrae.
Did any part of you ever consider fighting him?
Not really. No.
I probably wouldn't either.
And I at first I had a moment of like, come on, you pussy. Like, you can't just let people punch you in the back and not do anything about it. But then I was also like, realistically, what's going to happen here? Like, what I should have done was thrown a drink at him. I should have dunked a fucking. I had a large Sprite. I should have dunked that on his head.
But then you're in a fight.
But then I'm in a fight, and I'm thinking like
he's not just walking away after that.
No, and I'm fighting like a probable like meth head.
Yeah.
Who can feel no pain, any pain that fucking broken me could even inflict.
And
I don't know. A part of me
you're
is
on
thinking,
the corner of 8th Avenue, which is like, I think you either end up dead or in jail for manslaughter.
Absolutely,
someone's gonna get hit by a car.
for sure. And like, and I was thinking, as you know, out of shape and not tough as I am, he was so out of it that I was like, I don't know, I could probably like just walk up to this guy and like elbow him in the face right now, you know. But then what, you know? And then he's gonna just be like, I'm gonna get fucking blood, you know what I mean? I was just like, and part of me was like, you're a pussy, but then part of me was like, that was a mature thing to do, man. And I don't know, you know, mature doesn't fucking get you the prom queen, you know what I mean? But it was just like, it's one of those things where it's like, well, fuck you, man, because now you know, I'm trying to think of there was something happened recently where I was kind of like, you know, it's very rare that someone takes it to that point where you can pretty much talk shit and bank on the fact that nobody's really going to take it to a physical point. You know what I mean? That's where I think a lot of like assholes get away with it, where they're like, you know, when people are like, one day someone's going to fucking knock you out. It's like, probably not. Because just, you know, 99% of the world, 99.999% of the world goes through life not getting in any physical altercations. So no, I probably won't get knocked out. But this guy was like, I'm going to cross the line and punch him in the back. And I was like, well, you're just going to get to do that to me then. Because I'm not going to fucking fight a homeless guy when I'm with people, I got food in my hands, and I'm going to, even if I win the fight, I'm getting scraped up and beat up.
Yeah, but
we're
it
both
might be,
going to jail.
You might win that fight and then end up losing it. Because you get whatever disease he has.
That's what I mean. I don't want to touch him. I don't want blood. I don't want bum. If I can cut him, I don't want his bum blood on me.
Yeah, you don't want that.
And then there's cops right there. So it's like, even if I win the fight, or if I lose the fight, or if I'm justified, we're doing paperwork, we're going out of the station. It's a whole fucking thing. So long story short, if you're a bum and you want to punch me, you can probably get away with it. You could probably get away with it. I mean, if you punch me in the face, we're fighting. But it was just like a knuckle to the vertebrae that made me go like, ah! And it didn't feel good, and I would prefer it to never happen again, but it also wasn't enough for me to be like, all right, well, you know, as a man, I need to like do something about this. I was just like, well, that sucks that happened.
Did anyone you were with call you a pussy?
No, it went like unnoticed. Like, so I kind of was like, the fuck? And then we keep walking, and I was shaking my head, and like nobody knew. And I was like, that guy just punched me in the back. And they were like, what? And I was like, that dude right there, he just punched me in the back. And they're like, are you okay? Do you need to like stop? I was like, no, I'm fine. I just want people to know I just got punched in the back. Because it was so like, I mean, first of all, this city, man, it was like, I was obviously, you know, I didn't come into the city basically at all break. And I come back in. And I like had to step over what probably was a dead body. You know, at what point do you go, like, I always assume they're sleeping, but they're probably dead sometimes.
Oh, dude.
You know?
They're definitely dead. Dude, I did it
more often than not.
Going to my apartment where I had to, like, boost
Step over
myself
him?
up to get over him.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is ridiculous.
So that happens. Then I see this dude, white guy, young, like long hair, you know, would fit in like here. He definitely went out for a jog because he had like athletic clothes on, had like Beats headphones on, was sweating like a motherfucker, and was waiting at the corner for the light to change, but was like totally fucked up. Was like wobbling and in the bike lane, so these bikes are like zipping past him, and he's like, and I was like, you need to end your jog, dude. So I step over the dead body. There's this drunk, sweaty guy. The homeless guy punches me in the back. It was like, it smelled like shit and piss, and I was just like, I can't be here anymore. God damn it. But it was really the bum punch got me.
Yeah, that one
the rest
really,
of it I can deal with, but the bum punch really put it over the top. But
the random assault in the street, that was the one that...
Yeah, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I mean, but what do you think it would take for you to, would you have done something if you were me?
Nah,
you can
not.
handle yourself better than me, so if I were you, I might have like maybe I would have done something. But what
I think, because of the same thing with you work, I just don't think that's a big enough deal. Where, like, it's not worth the paperwork or anywhere else.
Because like really,
you give me a little punch in the back, whatever. I don't fucking care.
Which sucks.
Yeah,
that you have to just if you the smart like mature thing to do is let that slide, but it sucks.
Especially if it's someone who's the mentally ill person you're describing was like. I'm like, well, I don't know what's in their fucking pockets.
Yeah, that guy can stab me. I can pull out a razor blade from under his tongue and kill me.
Could have a needle.
Could have a bunch of buddies. It could be an accident.
I get AIDS out of fucking.
Imagine that.
Or I get a heroin addiction because I accidentally get stabbed.
Imagine that you're in a scrap and all of a sudden you're like, whoa. This is the best fight I've ever been in, man. What do you think it would take for you to start a fight on the street corner at this age?
It would take them starting the fight. Like anything else.
But all right, that dude threw a first punch, so a little rabbit punch to the back.
It would be like a continued. I honestly think I probably would not fight a homeless person even if they
punch you in the face. Right.
I
don't think I would either. I was trying to figure out what would it take for me to have been like, I'm gonna roll around on the street with this fucking guy because I feel like I have to. You know, it's like
if he started the fight and pursued the fight.
And kept coming after
pushing me.
Yeah, so it would have to be like true self-defense.
Yeah.
Is there anything where it could have been like one shot and you can just keep walking away? Like if he caught you in the face, you got a bloody nose, but you're walking away and he's just content to leave it. Like I just punched that guy one time. Would you just keep walking?
I'd probably keep walking.
I know. I know. And part of me felt like a fucking pussy for it, but part of me's like, realistically, what do I get out of if I could beat up this meth head? If I could whip his ass, then what? I don't know. I get a story for my podcast. Guess what? I got a story for the podcast anyway. I'm not the toughest guy, but I got material for the workday. I'm good. So, like, I mean, when you were younger, do you think you would fight back?
I think a homeless person, I would probably always just be like,
walk away.
Like this is.
Isn't that funny?
It's like if we're in a bar. That's different.
Like if one of my peers punched me in the back, if you were at a bar and just like a fucking Murray Hill bro. You were in a crowded bar, and he was just like, dude, fuck you, bow, and just punch you in the back.
I'd probably fight that.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah. Same amount of shit to lose, though. Like, you know, same amount of, like, shit's going to happen to you where it's like, I don't know, like, both could get arrested, both could break bones.
I'm okay with those two things. I'm not okay with, like, someone having a knife or fucking, like, again, like, I don't want them to, like, spit on me. Like, it's a homeless person. It's a person who sleeps outside every single night. I don't want to have violent interaction with them.
It's really about the disgustingness of it all. Yeah. Which led me to my second thing. The duality of man. I'm either on the street getting McDonald's, getting punched by bums, or I'm watching my children. And I'm at the park. One of my least favorite things as a dad is being at the park with other kids. I like play with my kids. Whenever I see the other dads, all other dads go, and maybe it's, you know, it depends on if you're a single dad or you're married, whatever, because it depends on how much time you probably have with your kids. But every dad I see at the park, they just sit on the bench and they're just buried on their phone while their kids like play. It's like your kid could be fucking dead and they wouldn't even know it. But I'm always like playing with them, like running around the fucking jungle gym thing myself. And so I hate the awkwardness with other kids because it's like, I can't play with you. You're not my kid, you know? But Shay always likes to, she's always like, do you think that girl would play with me? I want to like be friends. So I'm always like, hey, what's your name? This is my daughter, Shay. And I kind of like introduce them and I feel weird. Yeah. So this time a girl runs up to her and runs up to me and was like, hey, can I play? And I was like, this is great. Like, yes, go. So she introduces herself. Shay's like, oh, can I go? I'm like, yeah. She goes, come with me. I got to show you something. And we're back. This is back at my mom's house in the Bronx, and they run off and they go like into like this little. It's like there's a park with like stone little cobble like path, but then you can like step over this little fence and you're in like probably like 4 feet of woodedness. There's like bushes and trees and shit. She just kind of goes into the bushes, and I was like, that's not the best. Like, I don't want you in the fucking bushes in the park in the Bronx, because again, fucking needles and bums and all that shit. And I hear them go like, oh my God, you got to see this. And they come out holding fucking mushrooms, like big fat toadstools in their hands. And I was like, that is the worst goddamn thing you could have come out of there.
Why? What are you talking about?
Like a fucking gross, fungusy mushroom?
I thought they were going to come out with a dead animal.
Yeah, I think I would rather... dude, you know what's on fucking mushrooms, dude?
What?
All that weird fungus and shit?
Dude, I play with mushrooms all the time as a kid. Look at me, I'm fine.
I rest my case.
Bro, those huge mushrooms were fun as shit.
What did you do with them?
I just fucking broke them and stuff.
I would hit them with a bat.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch them.
Oh, I'd touch them all the time.
Shay comes out like, look. I was like, put that down. And the other girl's mom was like, what are you... I get the impression that this girl does come out with like dead cats and shit. Because she was like, oh, fuck. She goes, we got to wash your hands again now. I don't want...
Why?
You know, mushroom fungus all over the place? That can't be good for you.
There's no way these are like highly poisonous mushrooms.
I'm not saying poisonous. I'm saying disgusting.
These are you...
This is how you get...
mushrooms up.
You get like skin tags all over you or some shit.
No way.
You gotta walk away with some sort of fucking skin disease.
Not a skin tag on me. Hundreds of mushrooms touched in this lifetime. Thousands, perhaps. Just those
mushrooms just creep me out. They just like sprout up and they're all fucking
all fungusy.
Yeah.
Super fungusy.
And you want to touch that? You want that all over your skin?
I got no problem with it. I got no problem. I don't care for mushrooms. I don't want to eat them, but I like to
play with them.
I like to break them. Yeah.
You are a weird man.
I like to kick them. I like to punch them. I like to swing them. I'm a mushroom advocate. Me
Pro mushroom. We are
me
big
and
mushroom.
Jay
over
could
here.
have a good time hanging out together.
You know what? That she would have come out with a dead cat though. That girl was a couple years older than her. The importance of just like an older kid when you're a kid. That they can get you to do anything. I remember. You ever do the like where you try to make somebody pass out? Like just because a couple older guys wanted to do it, they were like, "All right, do this thing, man." They like take like 10 deep breaths and just cross your arms, and they just squeeze me. They pick me up and squeeze me.
I only ever did this.
So yeah, it's like you bend over, touch your toes, and like deep, like hyperventilate type deep breaths, right? And then I just went like this, and they go behind you, and they just like squeeze you, so you can't breathe, I guess. And I just woke up on the pavement with a fucking knot on my head. I was like,
"What the hell?"
And they were just laughing at me.
My friends in high school used to do that because they couldn't get beer. They were like,
they couldn't get beer, so
it,
just like
it fucks you up a little bit. It's like, stop doing that. You're cutting off the circulation to your fucking brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were, because I was, in like 4th grade. They were probably in like 8th grade or some shit. They were fat kids who could like crush me and lift me up, and I just had a big knot on my head. And they were like, awesome, right? I was like, not fucking really. That was the moment. I could pinpoint the moment I wasn't down for frats and hazing and any of that shit. I was like, fuck you guys. I'm never talking to you assholes again. Fucking make me pass out on the block for fun. Fuck you.
It also, they didn't let you down easy. They just let you
No, I guess not. I don't know, because all I know is I just slumped over. They probably were like, I didn't think it was gonna work. That, and there was another time that I got tabletopped and I just landed on the concrete and just like smacked. I think I still got a scar somewhere from it. Blood was just pouring out of my elbow, and I was like, awesome prank, guys. We were at recess.
Oh,
I was like in the middle of the school day. I was like, well, now I'm like pouring with blood.
I was a huge tabletopper.
On the concrete?
I'll tabletop you wherever. I'll
Thin ice,
I'll tabletop
into
you
a
at your
pit of
mom's
fire.
House. I'll tabletop you at your fucking dad's house. I'll tabletop you during church. If I'm around, someone's getting tabletopped.
Tabletop. Do not tabletop me. I started a war.
You would die.
You'll break bones.
Yeah.
I started a war. If you go watch Answer the Internet, the very, very end of it, for a little Easter egg surprise, but I started a war just going with a cheap laugh for a YouTube end card that now I've got a bullseye on my back, and I highly regret it. But if retaliation comes in the form of a tabletop, I'm hitting you with a baseball bat. Just know that I'm going to come in and be like, whap, and I'm going to smash you and be like, gotcha! That's my prank. Speaking of pranks, we do have to talk about the funniest show on television right now. I think you should leave. It's we'll do a little Barstool DVR brought to you by Revitalyte. Revitalyte has partnered up with Barstool for the blue flavor. I think they call it blue raspberry or something. What flavor is it? Is blue. Is the blue drink.
Black Label.
Black Label blue. Everybody knows if you're doing any sort of Revitalyte drink, blue is the best flavor. And whether you are out there partying, whether you're just an old man like me getting punched by bums, you need a little electrolytes. You need to hydrate. Like I said, you want to have that hydration meter. If you drink your Revitalyte Black Label from Barstool, you won't even have to worry about how dehydrated you are. You're going to have that good flowing through your veins. So you can get it at your local liquor store, hopefully. You can get it on the Barstool store. And you don't have to worry about, going through the baby aisle to get all the other electrolyte drinks. We're taking it to the next level, baby. You can use it as your mixer. You can use it as a, hangover drink, as a regular drink, as a mixer, whatever. It's one of the best and most helpful drinks out there. So follow along on Twitter and social media at Drink Revitalyte. You can tag and tweet, show pictures of it, and get yours at the Barstool store today. Go to store.barstoolsports.com. And for the rest of the summer, as you party, you're going to need it. I think you should leave season 2. Is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Were you not big on season 1?
I remember you telling me, I don't know how this happened because all I do in my life is watch TV. But I remember when that came out, it just, slipped through the cracks. People were talking about Tim Robinson, and I was like, I don't know who that is. And then I think you started to show me a clip, and it must have been a skit with an old man. And I thought he was the old man or something, and I was like, I don't know who this old guy is.
This is Ruben Rabasa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't seen season 1 really, so I don't know who that is. But I thought he was the old guy. Is it him dressed up, or is it just an old guy who's a part of it?
Old man,
so I thought it was just like this old man comic. Was like, I don't know, that doesn't seem like it's for me. And now I realize it's just like, Tim Robinson wrote for SNL for like years, and he got 2 skits aired the whole time.
That's insane.
And that just shows you how fucking stupid SNL is. You got Shane Gillis and Tim Robinson putting out the funniest sketches on the internet, and it's 2 guys that could have been at SNL that should be like head writers running the. If SNL was trotting that out every week, it'd be the funniest fucking show on television. If you had Shane doing the racist football coach, and Tim doing Carl Havoc on a regular just Saturday night, you tuned into that. Holy shit, SNL would be incredible. Instead, they're firing these guys or never putting them on the air. Carl Havoc is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, period. Not fucking doing it. I'm telling you, I'm not. Taking the chin off. And then the pause is like,
the new band is there's a band in here.
And the guy going, okay, that works. That could be a bit.
Never mind, no.
I don't want to be here anymore. That you don't want to live because the suit's too hot? Yes, I don't want to be here anymore. If you haven't seen it, I think you should leave season 2. I think it's like 5 episodes. They're only like 15 to like 17 minutes each. You can rip through them. They're just skit after skit. It's the best skit show since like Chappelle Show, I think. It's one of those things like I was like, Carl Havoc's the funniest thing of the season. And then I'm like, Coffin Flop's pretty funny.
Coffin Flop is so goddamn.
And then
the first episode is front to back 10 out of 10.
And I don't know. I would love to talk to him. I tried. I'm putting out every fucking feeler I have on anybody. Do you know Tim Robinson? Do you know his agent? Can we get him on the show somehow?
We turned him down.
No.
Before season 1.
All right. Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
Like, so he didn't have anything really.
It was like I really remember it being like,
oh yeah, we thought it was Tim Robbins, right?
Yeah.
And
then I was like Andy Samberg was like producing the show, and we were like, oh, like I don't know, we weren't doing many guests at the time either, because I mean years ago. This is I think it was probably 3. We were in the old office. I know that.
Well, so that's okay then, because then we wouldn't have even had. I think you should leave to talk about. I don't even know what you're talking about. But man, I would love to get him back on and ask him like, what was the intention to be like, let's put our 3 or 4 best skits on episode 1 to just come out of the gates gangbusters, or did they not even? Like, maybe they didn't think that. Maybe they thought they spread them out nicely. But I think everybody agrees that, like, season 1, episode 1 is just like, boom, boom.
The hot dog when he's like,
I'm so tired.
Yeah, I'm the most tired I've ever been in my life.
I'm the most tired of
We
everything.
can all
You
see
can't
the
skip
hot
lunch.
dog. He goes, oh fuck. Yeah.
The way he's just eating. But that's where I've said this before with sometimes when guests are really, really funny, I get depressed. And I wasn't a guest on the show, but just watching that show made me depressed, because I was like, that is funny that I can never attain. Like, even if I stopped doing everything right now and tried to write like some stand-up material, I would never be good at it, but I could probably get on stage and do like a set or whatever. I could never come up with those ideas. Like, and why is it, if I came in and I was like, guys, I got an idea for a skit, I'm gonna eat a hot dog out of my sleeve because the boss skipped lunch, I think people would be like, shut the fuck up, man. What are you talking about? And he does it, and it's so fucking funny.
It's
Coffin Flop. Like, what? Yeah. How would someone have an idea? Like, all right,
I didn't rig
shit. They're telling me it's impossible that all these bodies would be falling out of coffins and one out of every 5's nude. I don't know what to tell you, man. I didn't rig shit. I didn't do shit. Like, the way he delivers the lines and the script, and like, yeah, we're gonna have a cable company cutting a channel who airs a show about dead bodies falling out of coffins. Go gold. Run with it. It is such creative funny.
I laughed harder with each flop to the point where I was just screaming. I don't think I was technically laughing anymore.
The wood and the rolling and the family screaming.
It just evolved into me just yelling.
Fucking good. I didn't rig it. I didn't do shit, man. It is so, and then Carl Havoc, like, the tone in the beginning when he's like, oh man, could you believe this guy? Imagine this guy running up on you, and all the makeup artists are just laughing. And then he's, it's too hot. We got too much shit.
Too much shit.
I'm telling you, I'm not doing it.
Dude, it is.
I love it. What's funny about that? Because I took her tray? What does that do for the greater good?
You said it was funny. I said it was interesting. Dude, this is the highest praise you can give like a show like this is like it just makes people sit here and yell lines at each other.
Yes.
Like
yes.
That's what this whole segment on the podcast is. We're just yelling.
If you
lines.
haven't seen the show, this segment sucks. And if you've seen it, you're screaming.
Yeah, you're
screaming your own lines
It's
at the
like
fucking at the wall.
Like Will Ferrell movies back in the day. That's all
Yep,
you
yep.
just like. That's how we just hung out with each other. We just said,
yell
said
lines.
those quotes.
I mean, the first chance that I get to like organically yell, I didn't do shit. I didn't read shit, man. I mean, I will be screaming that as loud as I can. That to me is like genius. It's like knowing like this is weird and quirky, but it's gonna hit, like it's gonna land. Like some of them are just funny, but some of them are like there's such a fine line between that skit sucking and that skit being like Hall of Fame worthy, and it's. I mean, the ghost tour.
Yeah.
Does any of these little fuckers ever fucking fall out and say, "Look at my fucking horse cock"?
Like that was so good. When he just like
Jizz. When he just says, you can say we're on the adult tour, so you can say whatever you want. Jizz. What? Jizz. Horse cock.
like semen. Dude,
when he's explaining it, he's like, we're either on the adult tour or we're not.
He's like crying. He's like, I'm not trying to ruin anyone's day, but do any of these little fuckers ever pop out of the fucking wall and have like a big messy shit? Like, no, they don't. You're like, okay.
I just had a question. You answered it. It's amazing. I want to talk to him. Just like I want to know like how many skits are on the cutting room floor? How many like do you like? I remember when Ben Schwartz told us that they filmed 4 specials and like 3 of them made the cut.
Yeah.
I was floored. I thought that was like you had to do 90 of those to get that much funny material. So I want to know like how many skits don't make it, or how do you like that? Because that could be 10 times as long as it was, and I'd watch all of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait, so you still haven't seen season 1?
I think I went back and watched. Yeah, no, but I think I still have season 1 to watch.
You should do that
Yeah. I honestly, the only reason I haven't is because I keep watching season 2. I'm like, I gotta see season 1, but I gotta see Carl again, and then I start watching Carl Havoc, and it just keeps going. I don't want to be here anymore. Like, if I was a young man still committed to the game, there's a 100% chance I would be Carl Havoc for Halloween.
Yeah,
100%. That mask, the chin kills.
Yeah, it's heavy, Dave.
Said it was interesting. All right, top 5s today. Top 5s. We're doing top 5 words. Just straight up fucking words, which is perfect for the ghost tour because jizz and horsecock and all those that he was throwing out were pretty funny. So we're gonna go with top 5 words, your favorite words, the meaning, the sound. Whatever you want, and I'm going first because I'm drafting fuck.
I knew it. I mean, that was obviously gonna be.
You know, that was as host, I just stole first pick, and I'm taking fuck because it's just the single most important word in the world. I was actually listening to DeStefano and Sal Volcano. I was listening to Hey Babe yesterday. Everybody should go listen to their latest episode. Chris tells the story of doing stand up for Steve Cohen. You know, he got that private gig to do stand up for the Mets owner. It is so fucking funny. So Steve Cohen, I don't want to tell the whole story, so you should go listen to Chris, but just to give you the setup. Chris has a Puerto Rican wife and a half Puerto Rican daughter, and Steve Cohen's wife is Puerto Rican, and so a lot of the Hispanic humor she really likes. So her and Steve Cohen's daughters, I believe, like were the ones who found him. So Alex, Steve Cohen's wife, like organized this whole thing. So he's like, great, I'll show up to this family event and I'll do like these Puerto Rican jokes. The wife will be happy. Steve will be happy because his wife's happy. He shows up and it's not a family event. It's guys' night out. It's 10 guys at a steakhouse. And the last thing they want to do is stop the party for this fucking comic they don't know.
Right.
So they're eating steaks and drinking wine and just busting balls and doing what rich guys do. It was Steve Cohen's
so
time.
he was gonna do a set there, or he was hanging out with them?
No, he's gonna do a set.
Okay.
So Tommy Mottola, like I think these other like ballers, you know. He was booked to do 45 minutes. Steve stops me after like one joke. He goes, what's the deal here? How long did they tell you to do? He goes, 45. He goes, I'll double the pay, do 10, and get the fuck out of here. But not in like a mean way, just like, hey, listen, guy, you know? So, and he said, and Chris had told me this because I meant to try to help him, give him some like Mets material to help him out. It sounds like there was no saving this. So he got back to me. He was like, dude, I bombed. And I was like, you know what? I've gotten to know enough comics now. You all say that, and you didn't bomb, you know? And then I listened to stories like, oh, he bombed. they threw a crab cake at him at one point.
What?
and let me, I will just, you should go listen to it, hear it in Chris's voice and in his words, and Sal laughing at him is even funnier. But the one bit I will tell you, so Tommy Mottola is there. Tommy Mottola is a huge record exec, was Mariah Carey's husband when Mariah was like super young and first coming up. First off, Steve goes like, this is Tommy Mottola, and Chris goes, oh, I had your phone when I was a kid. And he goes, that's Motorola, you asshole. Like, no. And then he's like, oh, you used to be married to Mariah. And he goes, I used to love Mariah Carey back when I was a kid. And which is a weird thing. I got to talk to Chris. Like, that's his ex-wife. Clearly probably not on good terms. It's a weird thing to do. And he goes, oh, yeah? Well, you must have loved cock when you were a kid, too. And he said that was the biggest laugh of the night. Everybody was laughing at him. Oh, yeah, you like Mariah Carey when you were a kid? I bet you like cock, too. I can't think of anything worse than sitting before, like, 10 million and billionaires on their, like, steak guys' night out, you know, and be like, hi, I'm here to tell jokes. And get the fuck out of here, loser. But, yeah, go listen to that. But the reason why I even brought this up, and I don't remember what it was.
It was top 5.
Fuck. As I was listening, totally really unconnected, but on Hey Babe, they blur out curses because they're trying to make money, and YouTube doesn't demonetize them. And, you know, Sal Vulcano is like executive producer at True TV. He has Impractical Jokers, like super smart businessman, funny comedian, makes a fuck ton of money. And I'm sure they were like, let's just like not swear, and when we do, blur it out for the like the benefit of like monetizing it and YouTube and all that shit. And I thought to myself for a minute, I was like, maybe we should just do that, because it's not like I hear it and I'm like that's lame, or like, oh, that ruined the flow. They just turn the mic down and bring it back up, you know, and you know what they're saying, so it doesn't lose any context. And then I was like, nah, man. Nah. Good for you guys. Keep doing it. It's probably smart. But I got to be able to fucking say fuck when I need to say fuck. I need to be able to say fuck if I'm fucking you. I need to be saying fuck if I'm fucking you. I need to be able to say fuck if it's happy, if it's sad, if it's good, if it's bad. It's fuck. It's the most versatile word in the fucking English language, and I can't live without it.
It is. It's great. It's a great word.
What's your favorite version of fuck? Like fuck when you're saying sex, fuck when you're saying fuck you, fuck
Anger.
when you're angry, like an anger.
Like a
Fuck. Like a pain anger? Like I stubbed my toe? Fuck. Or like a I made a bad drunk decision? Fuck.
Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, pain.
I think a good, like, I've made an irreparable decision, like a drunk injury where it's like, I just want to rewind time and undo this, my dumb drunk self. Just fuck. Yeah. But a good fuck, I need it, man. I need it. All right, next pick.
Tribunal.
Whoa. Use it in a sentence for me.
I'm saying tribunal for you.
So you just like the way it sounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know what a tribunal is. It's a fucking a court. Or it's a,
yeah, I would just say like stand before the tribunal.
Yeah.
I feel like in the Hunger Games they must stand before the tribunal.
In Star Wars.
Yeah, it's very like dystopian, like,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Tribunal.
So yeah, tribunal. I just like it. It's a good word.
Razzmatazz.
Ooh.
Razzmatazz.
And all that jazz.
Yeah, just I mean, I don't really say it very often.
Yeah, well, my favorite words I don't say.
Well, that's the thing. I got a couple here that I use. Some words I'm gonna just give you normal words that I just like use a lot. But razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz. Okay.
Anytime you can get 4 Z's in a word, that's pretty fucking cool. You put out a razzmatazz in Scrabble, you're winning the game, okay, brother? Couldn't even do it. I mean, there's only like 1 Z on the fucking board. You can't even spell razzmatazz on fucking Scrabble.
All right. I will go with number 2, cock.
Fitting. I don't think anyone's surprised. Now,
Like,
you're saying cock, not cocksucker, just cock.
Yeah, you fucking.
Because I was thinking about throwing cocksucker out there.
Yeah.
I think cocksucker is a great curve. You know what? My number 3 pick is cocksucker. It's a different word from cock, but I think. Do you like cock? See, I think cock is an effective word if used the right way.
I think
Like-
you're talking about using it sexually.
I am.
Whereas I'm talking about like he's a
He's
fucking
a cock. Yeah, he's a cock.
Yeah.
Like an insult, like an exasperated, like
Yeah.
fuck this guy. I think if a girl drops a cock, she means business.
Yeah.
Like that's filthy. like if you're doing dirty talk and you say cock, I'm probably gonna tell you to slow down. Like, ease up. If you're dropping cock and dirty talk, you're probably about to be disappointed. Like, you are expecting something I probably can't deliver. If you tell me I want your dick, fine.
You've had entirely different sexual experiences in your life than I have.
Exactly that. I want your cock. No, you want someone else's cock. Well, I have a dick. I don't have a cock. Okay. I give you a penis. I'll give you a dick. That guy on the corner, he can give you a fucking
I'll give you a wee wee.
I'll give you a wiener. Go back to your ex-boyfriend for the cock. Okay. But cocksucker, I think is a. It's like I actually throw around cocksucker too often. And that should be reserved for I think like when you mean it. I'll throw it out like look at this cocksucker, and it's a very offensive term, But I'll throw it out there like it's nothing. But cock, the root of that, cock, it's an important one.
Yeah,
it's an important word.
Okay. My number 3 now is going to be.
I'm trying to think of words you say. Like you don't say wicked. You don't have any like the Boston slang really. You don't have any like words that you really like.
Okay, I got it. My number 4. Nope, 3 is tit.
Tit.
Because I call people fucking tits
you
all
do,
the time.
yeah. You're a big son of a tit.
Yeah.
Fucking tit.
I don't know why I say tit.
That's almost more of your like what was the word you said when you hurt? Fuck, yeah.
Fuck.
When you like stub your toe or something, you'll be like, tit.
Yeah.
Fucking tit.
Yeah.
Don't you almost have a Tourette's tick?
I do have
tit,
a
tit,
tit.
tit. Sometimes I don't even know if you're saying tit or if it's just your body. Tit. Just a reflex.
A noise I'm making.
Fucking tit. Yeah, like it's just a T. Tit. That's a very Feidelberg-esque one there. This is a word that I just love the sound of it, but I have also probably used this word more than any word. I'll have an honorable. I have 2 more, but I need 3 more. But preposterous.
Oh, yes.
I have used preposterous on that blog and on Twitter and in this podcast so many times that I almost think I've like normalized it. Preposterous is a word that shouldn't get thrown around often, but I throw it around so often that I think people are like used to it.
Yeah.
And it should be for special occasions, but everything's preposterous to me. Anything that's just slightly outside. I mean, if you don't know by now, I like to obviously exaggerate. So if anything's even slightly weird, that's preposterous. Anything happens in sports that's funny, that's preposterous. Anything is preposterous. It's a great fucking word.
Okay. Number 4 for me is going to be shenanigans.
Oh! That just knocked me the fuck over. That was a great pick. Shenanigans.
Oh, and I got my 5th too. I'm good.
Fuck, that's the pick of the draft so far. Shenanigans.
Shenanigans almost got kind of ruined for a little bit because of Super Troopers. But people used it as a bit, but now like, God, I can't deal with these fucking shenanigans anymore.
Shenanigans. Shenanigans is a great one. It's trying to make me think of some other my last pick. I have a word. My last 2 for my honorable mention too would be I have a word that I just like the sound and the spelling, and then I have another word that is just like I use it an obscene amount of times. Absurd would be up there with preposterous too. By the way, I say absurd a lot. But I'm trying to think of a shenanigans, but it's just not going to come to me. I'll go with my my SAT word, my Scrabble word, quixotic.
What is this one?
Quixotic.
What's that?
It's it's referencing Don Quixote. So so I think when something's quixotic, it's like Don Quixote, which means it's
I thought that was chaotic. I mean, you
I think it's quixotic.
You know more than me in this one.
I think so, but I might be mixing them up too. I know quixotic is a word. Is it? What's that? What does that mean, Nick? Can you Google it? Quixotic. I feel like it's like I want to say like puzzling or something like that. Like it's
exceedingly idealistic.
Okay, so that comes from Don Quixote.
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck. I just like the way it looks. Again, you get a Q and an X in there. X is the best letter. We can agree on that.
X is the best letter. No, I disagree with that. I think G is.
What is good about G?
I don't know. I like to make G's.
You like to write them?
Yeah.
How do you write them? What do you do that's so special with a G that you like him so much?
You still making weird cues?
It's a dramatic G.
It's a dramatic G, yeah, but I think it's a cool letter.
The fact that you really do two separate things is pretty obnoxious. like most of us just.
Ew,
actually,
that's your G?
No, wait. I actually that's not my G because now that I'm making fun of you, I think I do two things too. No, what? Give me a word that starts. Give me a word that. No, I need a G in the middle. No, I guess I don't. Fight. Oh no, because I'm gonna do a lowercase. I guess no. So I do what you do, but I keep the pen on the page. The fact that you go like that is ridiculous.
I mean, that looks like Cristiano Ronaldo's. Those are a little more.
Do you take the pen off the page?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's absurd. The X is the superior letter.
Nah, X is stupid.
X. It's got X. X-rated. Sex. X. It can be a thing. I X it out. It can be a letter. Sometimes it has a Z. Xylophone. X. X is the best letter. We'll do top 5 letters next week.
Okay. My number 5 is hullabaloo.
See, that's a good shenanigans-esque word. You know, a lot of those like onomatopoeia. I think onomatopoeia words are great, but they're not as good as the word onomatopoeia.
Oh, do you know what I learned the other day? This can't be true. It can't be true. I saw like a meme or like I think it was just like a Reddit thing or something like that, where it said the fear of palindromes. There is such a thing, I guess. And
yeah, the words that can be spelled frontwards and backwards, race car.
Yeah,
You're afraid of them.
The fear of palindromes. The word that describes that is a palindrome.
No way. Allophobia or whatever.
Yeah, like that's insane.
That is awesome. No, that's done on purpose, right?
Absolutely.
It must
like
be done.
whoever came up with that was like, let's fuck with these losers.
I am gonna create an absolute nightmare for about 10 people.
I'm telling you right now. If you have a fear of palindromes, you are the biggest asshole on the planet. I don't respect you as a person. I certainly don't respect your phobia. Like, if someone tells me they're afraid of heights, I'm not going to, like, push them off a fucking building, okay? If you tell me you're afraid of palindromes, I'm just yelling, race car, race car, race car. I'm yelling all the fucking palindromes I can think of right in your fucking stupid, dramatic face.
My sister's name's a palindrome. That'd be real tough to have a fear of palindromes and have your name be a palindrome.
What does that mean, a fear of palindromes?
I don't know.
Like, you see them on the paper, or like you can't write them. You're like, R-A-C-E-C. I can't do it. I can't write race car. Fucking jerk-offs.
It's the one at the top. The one at the top is a palindrome, right? Yeah.
Allophobia.
Yeah.
Is it a palindrome?
Yeah.
Abophobia.
AI. Yeah, that's an AI. That's 100% done on purpose. And I love it. I love whoever came up with that word. Shout out to Shakespeare. The word that I use an exceedingly large amount of times, but I think it goes under the radar because it's just a normal word. If you search the blog, if you search my blogs or my Twitter handle and the word absolutely, it's probably insane.
It's absolutely preposterous.
Absolutely absurdly preposterous. But that was going to be my honorable mention, but I think my honorable mention will be anti-disestablishmentarianism. Everybody knows that one, the longest word in the English language, and people tried to, in like 4th grade, I remember, I'm going to learn how to spell this, and I'm going to know it. Anti-disestablishmentarianism. What a stupid word that is. Hey,
on your list of best words.
Anybody who's
what
ever
a stupid fucking word.
Anybody who's ever used that word. Has anybody ever used that word other than saying what's the longest word? Like if there's ever been someone writing in the New York Times being like, and in this case of anti-disestablishmentarianism, we saw, like, you actually used anti-disestablishmentarianism? No, you fucking didn't.
No.
You asshole. All right, voicemails and then Chiclets. Let's do it. Voicemails are brought to you by Moneylion. Let me talk to you about Moneylion. It's a badass financial app. There's over 7.5 million users on it, and they know that life happens. And you never know when life's going to decide to throw something good your way, and they're going to throw something bad your way. You're going to have unexpected expenses. where, all of a sudden you've got an opportunity to do something, or maybe you got some bills that pop up. So the good, the bad, the ugly, you're going to need money, and that's why Moneylion comes in. It's an award-winning financial app that gives members $250 at 0% APR, no questions asked. You need $250? They'll just fucking give it to you. Does your bank do that? You walk into the bank right now and say, hey, bank, give me $250. What do they tell you to do?
Tell you to go fuck yourself.
Then you go fuck off.
They say work harder.
What does Moneylion say? They say, here's $250. And then you say to them, all right, I got to pay you back. Like, at what interest rate? And they say 0. And you say, no, I can't be. You're going to be $250 and no 0% APR? And they're going to say yes. And you're going to say, what's the catch? What are you going to chop my fingers off? What do you want for collateral? I got to give you my firstborn? Nope. $250, 0% APR. Nothing, no questions asked, just for you to handle that curveball that life threw your way. So go to the Moneylion app today and download it. That's Moneylion, lion like the animal, in the App Store, and download Moneylion today. If you need $250, you can get it right now. It's Moneylion. Go download it. Voicemails, what do we got?
KFC, Feits, Nick, Jackie, rest of the gang. I got an interesting hypothetical that came up at lunch the other day. If we lived in a world where you can buy other people's brains and transplant them, how much do you think your brain would go for? You got to account for everything, talking smarts, comedy, but you also got to look for the other stuff too, mental illness, depression, all that. Viva.
I think my like 24-year-old brain would be like pretty highly coveted, and then I think my 34-year-old brain, no thanks.
I think I have an exceptionally valuable brain.
Wow.
Like top 1%.
Really?
Yep. I think.
What makes your dumbass say that?
Because I think it's like, I think if you could have a day with my brain, I think everyone on the planet would want to give it a try.
That's the thing. You want to take it for a spin. You don't want to buy the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No.
Yeah.
Well, everyone like almost like going on like a fucking roller coaster. Like everyone's like, I gotta just see what a day is like. The day in the life is like.
Yeah.
I would have absolutely a very, very sought after brain.
Your brain would be like, I'll lease it, but I don't want to buy it.
Yeah.
I want to have it for 36,000 miles, but I got to get it back. Eventually, I got to give that back to the dealer.
It's like when you go to a beach town and people have like those little cruisers that you rent for the day,
and you can just leave it on the corner when you're done.
That's what you do with my brain.
Yeah,
just fucking.
Your brain. If you could combine brains, that would be the real value. If I could like take your brain for a spin, get some of your ideas and see how things work, and then come back to my brain, but keep some of your brain with me, that would be good.
Yeah. Oh, there's
because you got ideas coming out of your fucking eyeballs.
There's a good amount of good in this brain. So a lot of bad in it, but yeah, it's always fun. Every day's interesting. I can tell you.
Yeah, wouldn't that be so cool to watch? I would love like. Sometimes, I've had so many surgeries and shit like that, and sometimes I'm like, my fucking back hurts. Did a bum punch me or what? But no, I'm like, is that a normal amount of like pain? Am I being a baby, or is this something that if other people felt it, they would be like, oh my god, take me to the ER? You can't really tell. You never know. You know what I mean? So sometimes I'm like, I would love to feel what other people feel just to know like what the baseline is. I feel like if men and women could like feel each other's feeling, like live in each other's bodies for a day, I think like relationships would be. Dr. Drew was saying he was on. I might have said this already on the podcast, but Dr. Drew was on, I think, with Tom Segura and Bert and them, and was saying that the thing he hears most about transgender men, women turning into men when they get their testosterone like treatment booster or whatever, they like go apologize to the men in their life. They're like, oh my god, I'm like so sorry. Like
why?
Because they feel like the testosterone, and they're like, "Oh, I fucking understand it now."
Yeah.
You got this dick. You want to fuck this. You want to, your brain. Whatever. I actually don't even know what it is. That's what I'm assuming it is. But the difference between the two, and it's like you get to walk a mile in their shoes. All of a sudden, you're like, "Oh, I understand why you're being an asshole."
It is absolute fucking hell,
torture. and when he was,
like, I don't want to do the things I want to do. Like,
and he was joking, saying, and the time that God or whoever decided to give it to you is when you're like 13. Like when you have no capability of handling it, that's when you get your booster shot. But if you could like feel them, emotionally, mentally, sexually, socially, whatever, it would be like it would change everything. So if you could like get in your brain, learn some of this, come back and take the good parts of your brain and the good parts of my brain, all that shit, that would be the real value of it all.
That would be pretty heavily sought after.
Would you switch brains with like Elon Musk right now?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
Not interested.
And it's like, yeah, maybe he has $250 billion, and maybe he's going to space and all that shit. But like, bet you
But
otherwise
also,
it's
like,
a
I wouldn't be
hellhole
able
up in
to
there.
do anything with it. Like what if I switch brains? Like I guess if I have his
You
brain,
would.
then I can't understand
Yeah,
things, right?
you
'Cause I'm like,
see the Matrix. You're like, I have all this information and I know how to build a company around it. You know?
no, I'd be interested in switching brains with like that homeless guy who punched you.
Yeah, just to see what's up.
Just to see what that's like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any interest in trying to be like a famous person's brain.
I want to trade brains with like the most ignorant person in the world. And I don't mean that like, you're ignorant about like racism. I mean that as like you have no aspirations. You're a simpleton, but you're happy about that, I would love that. Take the whatever little portion of my brain that controls ambition and all that shit. Take it out. Take it out of my brain. I don't want any of that, man. You know what is interesting? I found this on a TikTok, so maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But the reason why foot fetishes are so common on your brain, you got all those wrinkles. Mm-hmm. And there's the wrinkle, and then there's the space in between the wrinkles. Yeah. Those are two things. And along those wrinkles and in those spaces in between are like nerves and nerve endings and the things that kind of send messages all over your body, all that shit. And in the portion of your brain that controls pleasure, along one of those wrinkles is like your dick and your balls and your clit and your vagina, like all your genitals. And then like the next thing is your foot. It's just like your feet are close to your genitals in your pleasure part of your brain. So you're just kind of getting your wires crossed. Huh. So there's like a physical reason why you might be into feet. It's not just like, those turn me on. It's like, I'm thinking about my dick, but my feet, my toes are getting me mixed up with my dick and balls. It's like there's a reason for it, which is actually, I would take solace in that if I was a foot guy. Because I feel like if I had a foot fetish, I'd be a little bit like, fuck. I'm a foot weirdo, Oh, actually, of all the fetishes, it's like the least.
It is like one of my favorite memes I ever saw once was like it's like a Pokemon meme, and it's like 6 different Pokemon like holding guns up at Ash, and he's got his hands up and being like, what did I? Like, you can tell like what did I do?
Yeah, and
it's like ass guys, boob guys, leg guys, tick guys,
all good,
and then it's like. Foot guys. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I
just like, if anything, it's like the least, it's the most harmless. It's like, I just like those tootsies, man. No big deal. I almost think I don't like it because it's cliche. I wouldn't want to be like lumped in, I'm a foot guy.
Yeah.
I'd rather be a weird fetish guy. I'd rather be like, I got a latex milk fetish or some shit. I don't know. Like, oh yeah, you got a foot fetish? Whatever, dude. I want the real deal.
Like a milking fetish?
Yeah, I'd rather that than be just a foot guy. A dime a dozen. But imagine that it's just like, yeah, my wires got crossed. I can't help it. When I see feet, it makes me think of like sex. I don't know. It's fucked up.
I want to fuck them.
Yeah. I feel like, do you have any fetishes?
Do I have any fetishes?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, I like everything.
My fetish is everything.
I don't think
I just don't know what qualifies as a fetish. It's
I don't know.
Like, I'm an ass guy. Does that make, how much do you have to like asses?
Yeah, I mean, you probably got a butthole fetish.
Probably. But don't we all?
Yeah, that's what I'm
don't
saying.
We all?
Like, it's like, who doesn't have a butthole fetish?
Like, if you don't have a butthole fetish, grow up. Like, that's, we all have that. That's just called, like, being horny.
Yeah.
I want to see your asshole. But I don't know. Maybe we do. That's why I want to take a spin in other people's brains.
Yeah.
Like, when we put out a segment about sex, I tweet about like a hot chick or say something about sex, inevitably you're getting bonked. People are going crazy on the internet with the horny bonks. I say it's jumped the shark along with, rent free and all those other things. Like you say anything about the opposite sex and someone's bonking you, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I like a good bonk still.
But it's funny. It's fun. But there are people who are like, like I think I can talk about sex the same way I can talk about sports. Like it's just like a thing. But there are people out there who are like, like it's too much sex for me. Like I want to get inside your brain and be like, what? This makes you uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Are you offended, or do you just not like the topic? Like, what do you mean? It's just like any other topic. It's like talk about the weather, talk about sports, talk about politics, talk about fucking. It's just all the same. But there are people who are like, it's too much sex. It's like, what's going on in your loser brain that's a big deal to you?
Yeah, like
I'd like to hear.
He said cock. Can't listen to this.
Yeah,
like,
right. But I almost
a butthole fetish.
But I almost wanna.
Yeah.
that I might understand.
Now that we're explaining it, it makes sense.
That I guess. Anyway, who do you think would be the most coveted brain?
Me.
In the world, John Feidelberg. You might be the most underrated brain.
I think
great value pick.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be the number one pick. I think the number one pick. I think the one thing I've seen translate throughout all generations is usually comedy, and I think it would be Chappelle.
Do you think it'd be the most valued brain? I don't think so.
I don't think the most valued. I think the most like if there was a draft, like if you gave everyone a list, like put down like the brain you want to be inside of, or see, got to take a spin. The most, I think, young, old, black, white, this, rich, poor, all that, like comedy, and specifically Chappelle transcends all of that. Everybody from all those different groups and demos like it.
I think Chappelle's definitely an interesting one.
And just see just like the top comedy brain, I think is like has a lot of value.
But I don't think that he would be the number one pick. I think he's a good pick, and I think he might be my number one pick. But if it's like the average in the world, like what the market decides is the most valuable.
But you know why I think Chappelle is like he's the smartest. Like no, you're not gonna. Yes, you could just pick the smartest guy. I don't know, some fucking scientist at the Smithsonian department, or whatever. But that's not like cool or fun or whatever. But I think people know Chappelle has like a brilliant brain that he uses in a cool and funny way. I think that's the appeal of it. Because like I could jump into your brain and you're a Pulitzer Prize winner, but I don't even know what the fuck, you know. But I guess you do because I'm in your brain. And I guess I like it because I'm in your brain. It's almost like I need somebody else's brain while still maintaining my likes and interests.
Yeah.
You know? Because it's like I love comedy, and if I can now see how he like does it all, that's why I would pick it. Who do you think the number one pick would be?
I don't fucking know. It honestly, it's probably Musk.
Yeah.
Like, it'd probably be Elon Musk. But I have no interest in that. But if like, it's
you know what a real
or Bezos or fucking
one of the billionaires.
Yeah.
I think what I would like to do is not just have somebody's brain. I'd like to be in their brain for a specific moment. Like I would love to be in Bezos's brain, knowing that you're the richest man in the world at the time, when your like affair and your sex and all that shit leaked.
I would not want to be in that
because I want to know if he like maybe he was just like I don't care, or maybe he was freaking out the same way I was freaking out. And I could be man, me and the billionaire Jeff Bezos were like on the same fucking level for that moment. Or if it's just something I want to be like in a moment where it's like all right, I know how I would react. Let me see how this guy would react and see if it's like totally fucking different. Just to be like oh, this is how the rich people handle that, or this is how the smart people handle that.
He just did not care at all.
Yeah, like truly like indifferent, like whatever, man. All right, last voicemail before we got Chicklets. Let's do it.
What's up, guys? Got a basic would you rather question for you guys. Would you rather only run everywhere for the rest of your life, meaning that you can never walk anywhere ever again, even to the bathroom, just down the hall?
We got it.
Or would you rather every time you have to talk, you have to scream at the top of your lungs? Or
this is a great question.
Or whatever.
This is a great question.
Right. Peace.
Not equally, but both socially awkward. But you can't be screaming.
I think you gotta take a run too, but like
you can't. I mean, you're at the bar, you're at the restaurant, you're sitting down, you're like, hang on, guys, I gotta piss. I'll be right back. Full speed ahead. You look like an asshole, right? But you know what's worse than that? I'll be right back, guys. I gotta pee. Like you just can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. I didn't do shit. I didn't bring shit.
I think
you can't. You're at a funeral.
Like,
as always, you gotta play these things
out. You're at a
out.
funeral walk like. So what if I'm in a line like that prohibits me from? So like I'm thinking of like getting communion.
Yeah,
at a funeral.
Yeah.
Well, do you get communion at funerals? No.
No.
Yeah.
You do. I would say, let's say the rule is like, you wait like an extra beat until there's like a free throw lane worth of space. Then you sprint like 15 feet. Even in lines, you got to sprint. And you're right. And those all would be. Yeah, so in that instance, I can go into a funeral and I can just be quiet for an hour and not say anything.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, you can't do the church whisper. Imagine that, you're like, psst, psst. You're next! You know, you can't do it. But if you can be quiet, but you have to move. So in that sense, you are the asshole running around the funeral. But
running up a communion line.
Yeah. So fun.
Very fun. I don't know how
Swim moves around them.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm trying to just think of the worst scenarios for both.
Well, why is just walking, like walking to work? I guess I could take Ubers now, and because I'm not running to work every day. That's not happening.
Well, you get in shape. I don't know.
Not interested.
I'm not worried about that. I'm more worried about like the weirdness, like the times where you're just like Like you can't walk with it. You can't.
Sex would be.
Well, but you're not. You're
screaming.
This feels so good. You're so tight. Yeah, that would be tough. I'm thinking about though, like you couldn't go anywhere with anybody ever again. Hey, let's go out to lunch. And like, I'll catch up in 15 minutes. And for some reason I'm picturing you're very fast. Like if I were to run everywhere, you could probably just keep up with me with a brisk walk. But I'm picturing I'm like the Flash all of a sudden. It's like I'll get to the restaurant, I'll get our table, I'll see you in 30.
That is true. Yeah, you never travel
you can't
anywhere.
Go anywhere with anybody.
But you can't take Ubers.
Yeah, so yeah, but even it's just funny. Like you get out of the Uber, and you just run to the door. But I ultimately think there's just more work situations, romantic situations, social situations where you just like we can't bring the screaming guy around.
Right.
You can't go to the movie again, but you can always choose not to talk.
Right.
It might suck, but it's like I'm gonna go to the bar. And I'm gonna fucking like laugh and I'll sign at you, yeah. But I won't actually have any conversations.
You can never tell a story ever again. I mean, come on, you can't.
Or I mean, your life would have to be like on FaceTime, and I just will turn the volume down.
Yeah.
Like, boy, this is tough. This is a good one.
It is. You have to run.
Yeah,
you can't.
And there probably will be some really bad times. But the worst for each situation. Yelling is worse than running.
Way worse.
And that's the real problem.
Way worse.
Again, even just like at work, you'll lose your job. You can't be the guy screaming in the office. You can't be the guy screaming at customers. You just can't do it. You can be the weirdo who runs places. My dad, when he went to SUNY Maritime, the rule when you're an underclassman is you have to run everywhere. You can't walk.
Really?
You have to run to class. You have to run to your dorms. Like if
dude, running with a backpack fucking sucks too.
Yeah, I mean they were not fucking around. But everywhere it's a whole different ballgame. So what we're gonna do? So the ATI app, Answer the Internet. We revamped and relaunched the whole app. There's now 9 decks of cards you can pick, and we're gonna release a new deck soon using voicemail questions that we can like cycle in and out. So if you've had the ATI app, and you've gone through all the decks, we're going to be cycling new questions in, so you can go on the app.
I'll get this one in there tomorrow.
Right, so you can, you're on your app, you can be playing with your friends, and we'll have the chicken chimpanzee question. You'll have the running and yelling question. So almost every week now, we'll have new questions cycling in, and you don't have to buy them every single time, right? You can just keep doing some of the new ones.
Oh yeah, if it's in the best of, it'll just keep cycling.
So we'll cycle.
Out.
So anytime there's a new deck, you buy that, but within those decks, when we cycle in the best of and the voicemails, you'll just get new questions. So it's a fully functioning, like when we first released it, it was like 3 decks and you go through it and that was it. Now we have it like fully operating where it's always got new questions and always got new decks coming out. So download it for free. There's some questions for free, and then you buy the rest of them. But as I said, we'll keep updating them with your voicemails and the best questions we come across. So download the app now. It's also got all of the videos from your favorite contestants, for our favorite guests. So you can watch the videos on there and play along with your friends. It's the best app to have for the bar, the pregame, the icebreaker. You're at a wedding, you're at a bachelor party, you're wherever it is, you got to break the ice or stir up some conversation. You're on a date, whatever it may be. It's the best app to have, in the holster, ready to go. So download the AT app today. It's in the Google Play Store as well as the App Store, so you can get it on Apple and Android. Answer the Internet. Chicklets time. One of our best interviews with one of the best podcasts in the world right now. Let's talk to the Chicklets gang on KFC Radio.
First time we've ever been on KFC Radio. I was just going to say
that. We're rolling, right, Jack?
Yeah.
Yeah, first appearance, you
I'm
motherfuckers.
glad we waited. I'm glad we waited.
You guys have been hiding?
Well, I appeared a long time, well before Chicklets,
No, you guys, you've been on, but never like the full Chicklets gang. Not since you guys have taken over the fucking world.
When did you go on?
Back when you used to do what was the YouTube thing years ago? Yeah,
like when KFC Radio was like the only podcast out, I would just have everybody on in Barcelona.
The first YouTube show. We talked about it recently, actually. It was our advertising was we sold our advertising for $1,000 for the full month. And it was every episode they got like 3 drops. It was the full presentation.
And it was one company?
It was Streaker Sports. It's like a I think a Massachusetts like shorts company.
Yeah, they sell like lacrosse type shorts or something like that.
They're like publicly traded now because of you guys.
There's none of that.
Slinging your own sales.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I'll take $1,000. We like
$1,000.
Yeah, it was like $250 for each of us, and then like $200 to buy new mics.
Each of us, like I saw a fucking dime.
Dave got
800. You got 100 each.
You absolutely actually did.
No,
we split that money up.
Did we?
Because
I
because we
have
bought
no
we
idea.
bought like a microphone, and then everyone got like $200.
Yeah.
Dude,
And it was like, all right, we got advertising. We're on our way, man.
Was that like 2015 or way before?
No, that was
that?
2012.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
It was
Yeah.
years before Chiclets. Yeah.
That was
When did
great.
you
It
come on
was a
for it already?
podcast.
Yeah. Well, it was on YouTube, but it was a pot. Yeah, it was like a little bit of yo. Now that everyone wants YouTube, it's driving me crazy because we were on YouTube in 2012,
And you moved
and then
away.
they said you have to focus on the audio, and I was like, okay. And now they're like, how come your YouTube numbers aren't big? I was like, nah! I would have had like a decade worth of YouTube growth if you just let me do my thing.
I know.
So it was a little bit video. a little
somebody
bit podcast.
forced you out.
Forget about it. Vine's
I
the next
thought it was
big
your
thing.
choice.
Yeah, no. It was and at
We
the time,
were
it made
we
more
were late
sense.
to the YouTube game too. I
We
think.
were the whole
You could
company
be boxing
was,
one of the
but-
Paul brothers. Had you
I was
stayed
gonna
in that
say,
long.
man, like YouTube's where it's at now, and we missed that whole
You could
wave.
be fighting
but-
Evander Holyfield right now. Played your cards right.
Dude, when are you guys gonna box? You guys should start fighting.
I
Me?
consider
I've
it.
told
Yeah.
Biz.
I'm
I mean,
no,
Biz,
Biz.
you'll fight and you'll win.
I'm more
Me
Mickey than
and White
Rocky.
Sox Dave are going to be going at it.
No, dude, you were right. His name is not a draw. He's a
Why don't you fight
absolute
Jake Paul?
midget.
Oh, I don't think he would fight a peasant like me.
I
He's a
actually-
big name in the. He's a big.
mean,
I would.
Jake
I would.
Paul-
He
Throw
would
those
say.
knocks.
He would say the same thing to me
Yes.
as I
White
said
Sox
to,
Dave?
to
Yes.
White Sox Dave.
But
You
he'd be
got
like,
the
who?
juice, though, man.
I would love to. I would love it because I would have to get back in shape and spend some time
I
to
think
focus
Biz
on
versus
that.
Jake Paul is intriguing.
I think Jake Paul laughs at it now because. But at one point it was probably legit. But if you got the whole Barstool machine behind him,
That's what I
then
mean.
maybe.
They just want the money, man.
I'll fight them both back to back.
Let's go.
I'm interested.
How much you want? I
I
said
wanna
this. How much do you want? Like, what do you? If we're like Biz, you're getting
Here's the
this.
number.
You'll box.
Yeah.
We can cut this.
No, I don't care.
no, I'm trying with
Give him
taxes.
$1 million.
I would assume you get what 3 months to train. Is that how it works?
Sure, I'm
Yeah,
sure you could
something
work
like
that
that.
into
I
it.
think
Or,
it-
whoever you did it with would probably allow that. Like whatever you need to make sure you're in best shape.
Now, keep in mind, so, like getting knocked out by one of these guys is something that you'll never be able to
That's
live
the
down.
thing.
Look at
That's why I'll
Robinson. I
never.
don't know.
That's why I'll never.
That's
Me-
what.
me-
That's
hey,
what.
but
I'll never put myself out
But
there
I'll
to get
say this:
knocked
I've
out
never
cold. Again.
I mean, that one picture haunts you.
Yeah, no
forever.
head.
Yeah, I've never been afraid to lose fights. So I think $1 million would be nice.
Well, I said
Which he
for
could-
me
I
to
put on
do
a
it,
way better show than Jose Canseco.
Well, yeah, they should
you
make more
can
than.
handle yourself, right? Like, so people have asked me the question. I was like, I would need to calculate how much money I can potentially make for the rest of my career, and then I need that because it's going to be over for me. Like,
be
it'll be
dead.
so fucking embarrassing that no one's ever going to like.
who-
do my-
But
do
I don't
my-
think
to the end.
losing a fight's that embarrassing. I think like
Getting knocked
it's a-
out.
it depends
Losing
on
a
which
fight,
manner,
looking
though.
the way I look and how it would happen. If you just get up there and
Yeah.
you can handle yourself and you get knocked out, so be it. When you're a total embarrassment and you get
Yeah.
fucking one punched and then that's it for you.
people are
no
still-
one is ever gonna like wanna.
Who was
you
the
know,
clip of the recent knockout? It was so bad for the guy. Well,
that
Nate
was-
Robinson
that was- no, well,
faced
that
Was it
down.
Nate- was it
bad,
Nate-
but
it was
then-
Nate
Ben
Robinson.
Askren
Face
too. I mean, that
But,
was after
I
that.
mean-
Jake
But Ben
Paul-
Askren was like a
Trevor
clear
Trevor
dive.
Berbick
Yeah.
got knocked
Well,
out by
I don't-
Tyson 30 years ago, and he's still like
That's
fucking
what I
getting
mean.
gifted.
There's you can like I exaggerate saying your career's over, but it's gonna follow you everywhere you go. You know what I mean?
Anytime you send out a
The
tweet,
picture,
your
yes.
face.
Anytime you have to like talk shit or get into it with somebody,
You're a joke.
They just come over the
You're a
top, like
joke.
bam. Oh yeah, well remember this.
I
Here's a
said,
wor-
I'm not fighting. I go, if you want to see what it would be like me in a rough and rowdy, just look at Will Ferrell in Old School when he's throwing around the fucking trash can in the locker room with his shirt off and his underwear. I'm like,
Yeah, you
that's
do look
me.
like
that would be me in the fight. I'm
Keep
not
your
doing
composure.
it. I'm not doing it.
Biz will sign a deal with Giphy to get 50 cents every time the gift gets.
There you go. You make money.
Yeah.
but everyone's got a number.
Me?
No?
Yeah.
I mean, I say that, but also you're set with
honest to
money, so like, you
God-
truly.
No,
if I said
if-
$50 million, yeah,
Obviously,
okay.
obviously,
So if I said
obviously.
$20 million,
Yeah.
$10 million.
Yeah. And
I
after
don't
that,
even.
no.
I don't even
Nothing
know.
Give me
below-
$9 million bucks. I'm
no.
not doing it. The
9,
10
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
you
Nope.
need-
Well,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what would just I could never step foot on a commercial airline again. I think if I got 10 more sheets, I'm private the rest of my life, and there we go. And country clubs
That's
don't.
his goal in
country
life
clubs,
to never have to stop on a or step on a commercial.
It was my first time ever just this past week going to Milwaukee, and I understand it. Like,
Dude.
once you
That
get
was
a
your
taste-
first PJ?
First PJ.
There's nothing-
Wow. First fucking taste you get of the good life. I was like, I can't go back to.
There's
this.
nothing
This
remotely
basic shit.
close to as good as flying private for the ultra wealthy people. Like
Yeah.
that is the ultimate of what changes.
I'm
flying.
still.
Just going to
I
these
won't even get a
little
black
airports.
car for Uber, let alone.
Biz is getting Uber X's in Manhattan.
I
It's
get
like,
Uber
dude.
X. I don't do the black cars. No, hey,
man.
Whit was
Biz is like
Whit
battle
was
of the pandemic
disgusting
and
because
you
I
can't
went
Uber
over
pool
for.
anymore.
I went-
Pulled up to my house.
No.
This is unbelievable. I forgot.
No, you ordered me one to come, and then
This
when
is
I
the
was,
story. So he's in Boston, and I'm like, dude, come down for dinner. Watch one of the games. And I said, I'll send you up a car.
Because my girl was there, and our girls had never met.
Yes,
Okay.
so
Little
sweet.
double date.
Yeah, girls got to talk it out. So I send up a nice town black car, and I pick him up, drive him back, and then I said, Biz, you want me to get a car home? He's like, no, I'll order one at my house. It's like 11 o'clock. I see out the door a taxi cab pulled up. I go, dude, you got a taxi? He's like, no, that's Uber. I guess Uber X also shares with the taxis. I'm like, people in my neighborhood are going to think I'm a fucking caged animal. You have a yellow taxi pulling up to my house?
But it had one of the signs that was probably, I would say,
girl.
It was about 4 feet long and about 2 feet high, and it was, you could have put the ad here, but there was no ad on it, so it was just, it was like that, it was like as bright as that ring light. So the whole fucking neighborhood was probably like, looking through their blinds.
There
like,
goes
what
the
hell?
neighborhood.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty conservative.
Whitney must have had a Bernie Madoff financial advisor. He's ordering people yellow taxis to leave his house now.
Well, I've seen like tons of tweets about that you're cheap. Why? I've spent a lot of time with you. I don't find you cheap.
It's an overblown.
Yeah, it's overblown.
He's had a couple instances.
There's a difference between cheap and not lavish. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's
frugal.
Guys like Portnoy who's fucking throwing it around like
I think
it's going
I
out of
used
style.
to be maybe a lot worse. But
Cheap,
I've
you mean
got
cheap
I've gotten
or
better.
lavish?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
like it's
when you
frugal, though.
because when you
Yeah.
when you
That's how
start
you
get,
stay rich, man.
when you start getting the label, you got to make sure you're going out of your way to not like, oh god, this guy actually is. So now you try to
Shit your pants so you don't have to miss a bill.
like I steal from RA's wallet when he's not looking.
Wallet.
I think there was
wallet
I think
since I had a
Austin
Velcro
Matthews.
wallet.
For people who don't know, Austin Matthews, star player on the Toronto Maple Leafs, he mentioned that a couple times. Biz realized that the waiter was coming with the bill over there and the bathroom's over there. He's like, be right back, guys. It's like perfect timing. But in the end, very generous guy.
Oh, yeah.
Very generous guy. No doubt.
No, for real.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't
no
even call-
doubt.
I wouldn't even call you frugal. Like you like to know where the money goes. That frugal is like just below cheap. Like cheap is cheap, and then frugal is like
Hey, listen,
I'm
we
really
all see
cautious.
what Grinelli walks around with. We know you guys are fucking.
That's there you go.
generous,
There's
you know?
Grinelli's loaded. Don't let him fool you.
We were gonna get RA when we just gave him a stack of cash.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I'm not a
I do
jewelry
remember
guy.
when that
I don't
happened.
even wear a
said,
wedding
I
ring.
said cash value, please.
Yeah, I don't even wear a wedding ring.
Really
so.
appreciate it, but
Have we started this interview?
yeah, this is.
Oh, we just jumped right into
We
this?
need
Oh,
these.
I didn't even know I thought we were doing an
Yeah.
intro. I was actually like, dude, we have an interview in 40 minutes. We got to get this thing started.
This is how we do the interviews around here. Yeah.
We've had guests on like who are on for like 20 minutes. And like so like same thing. They're like we got like I only have 10 minutes left. Like oh no, we've been
We're pretty much done.
Yeah, we're almost done, dude.
Yeah.
Wait, I was talking about cheating on my old lady. It's like, yeah, we're gonna keep it. That's good for ratings.
Flip that.
Yeah, we hope you say that shit. We're trying to trick you.
We had a guy the other day. I don't know if you've seen the show Mindhunter on Netflix.
I have, and it's not on anymore.
I know.
Great
No.
show. Is it the Star?
Tesh, the other one, the older guy of the two.
Okay.
So like, there's the founder,
Yep.
like the young-looking dude, and he like sat down and he was talking about like getting dinner with David Fincher and stuff like that, and we're like, oh, that means Mindhunter's back. And then like 10 minutes later, he was like, wait, was that in the interview? Like, oh yeah, that was.
Oh
it.
yeah, that's part of it. For sure.
Don't come in here and just start talking to us.
No.
Fuck, everything's recorded.
Hot mics,
This
baby.
show though is about how is it the FBI or they started their like how to
Profiles.
hunt a serial killer, and so it's a kind of
the
based on a
psychology
true
of it.
story.
I think I've started
and
watching
it's a young
it.
like
So good.
young like hot shot kind of guy, and then also the guy you interviewed. He's old school,
He's
like
a fucking
square
man.
head.
And dude,
that's
he
a
is
great
like that in
show.
real
That's my
life.
fucking-
Is he?
Stares through your soul.
He
when
looks
he's
like he
talking to you,
reminds
and I
me
was
of
like,
the dad in Wonder Years.
Yes, like
Remember
scary.
Kevin's dad?
Yes, yes.
Have you
He
seen
was-
it
he
all
was-
right?
I've seen the one Diaz. I haven't seen mine.
Oh, dude,
This
all
guy,
right.
man.
The
it's
thing,
been-
RA's sick of the crime stuff.
Yeah,
He
it's
gets
been
little down.
recommended. I kind of
No,
tapped
no,
out
no,
on like the murder
but,
stuff.
But
and
try
like,
Mindhunter.
All right,
it's,
I will.
It's a
I
cut
will.
love because I'm with you on that. A lot of it is like
It's a
the
great
same
show.
shit
Yeah.
again, but
Yeah.
this is real.
All right, yeah, and
and
anything with
it's-
Fincher.
It's also real. It's real serial killers.
Yeah,
that's
based on
fictionalized
real
a little bit.
shit.
So, and he was like, he was all business, man. He was talking to us about like, just his career and the craft of acting, and he's like staring through your soul, and I was like, okay,
And you're like,
yeah.
does this dude know how much 3Chi I'm on?
It's so weird when you're like we're interviewing people like that who are like so dedicated to the craft. Because like you guys, when you were doing interviews, like you've lived like you even like you know about hockey, you've lived it. Like I don't fucking know shit about acting, and they're like trying to explain it. We're like, I don't know, man. I guess.
No,
so.
and as they're explaining it, they're thinking like, this guy is not getting what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's not respecting what I'm saying. Like, listen to me.
Well, because there are actors who like they are serious about the craft and they prize, and then there are other actors who just show up and they fucking turn it on and they're just as good as the people who pour
love
their
that,
heart and soul into it.
Anthony Hopkins was talking about like how Daniel Day-Lewis method acts, and he was he was like, "Fuck that! Just show up when the cameras are rolling. You act. That's you know what I mean."
Yeah.
I think Hopkins was like, he's like, I have a job. I do my job and I go home.
Yeah, that whole.
I know, but they're so different. These kids.
I'm obsessed.
Kids. It's like they're just different dudes.
Dude, I was watching Red October the other night, and it was like I tweeted about how it's hilarious that Conor was just like, I'm not doing an accent. I'm Scottish. I'll play a Russian, but I'm not doing a fucking accent.
Yeah.
And then I googled it, and I guess he was a late edition. He did 1 day of rehearsals and was like, all right, let's start filming.
I'm good.
I'm ready to rip.
Yeah, he's just a boss.
Going back, Daniel Day-Lewis, I'm obsessed with watching his interviews on YouTube. I find it fascinating. I agree with you that like it seems like a bit much to act as that person.
Imagine being
like
his family
for
Lincoln.
Dad, come on. He was a carpenter.
So for Lincoln, I think for Lincoln he was like shitting in an outhouse. He was living in a place with no electricity, and he also talked about the backside of it is like learning to not be that person anymore. So when he's doing these roles, it's like a 3-year commitment.
He's got to come out of it.
So, but hey, I mean, I do respect it because every time he does,
I'll
nail
say
it.
this though about him is, thankfully he did it because there will be blood in his performance.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I'm glad I got to see that.
But also, don't you think it's? I guess it's kind of like sports, where it's like there's the guy who can be in the gym or on the ice like 24 hours a day, and then there's the guy with like the natural talent who's like, I don't even practice. And
You'd
I'm
much rather be
good.
the Phil Kessel.
That's what I mean. You know?
Who's the natural talent of Hollywood? Because I think that Leo he dives into his roles pretty good.
Sure. But I mean, a guy like Anthony Hopkins who was like, I don't need to do all that.
He just shows up and it's
that's
on.
How he's
I want to Google it because I wanted to get it right. There's a legendary story. It's a movie from the 70s, a marathon man, Dustin Hoffman and Sir Laurence Olivier. He's like a famous actor from the 40s and 50s. And like Dustin Hoffman was like getting into his role, and he's like, "Well, what'd you do?" He's like, "I stayed up for like the last 3 nights to get into it." And Laurence Olivier, who's like one of the most famous actors ever. He's like, "Sir, well, why don't you just try acting?" Like, like, hey, that's my job. Just fucking act. You know, it's like this legendary story. So.
I'd rather be that. But what would you guys have done if you weren't like sports guys growing up? Like I mean, I don't play, but just being a sports fan half the time because my team sucks so much. I'm like, I wish I just like played instruments and liked.
I always
art
wanted
and,
to be an architect.
Architect for biz? Yeah. Why'd you make that face, Whitney?
I'm not gonna make the joke that I just thought because it's not fair. But you as an architect, dude, I'm not confident in the stability of the building that was designed and built by you. I just can't picture it. You're an athlete. You're a big dude. Your brain building buildings is not what I could picture going on in your world.
All right, you have anything to say?
It's not chirping.
I think that Biz is a successful guy.
I think he's smart, but like,
what if I became an architect just to spite Whit and quit the podcast?
For the content, just for the
and then,
go to architect
next
school.
thing you know, I got a master class in architecture.
No, you get to rough and rowdy, a nerd from architect school.
I'm just fascinated by structures and buildings, and there was actually a master class, and that's the reason I thought of it. I forget who the guy's name is, but it was on a world famous architect, and he's designed plenty of buildings, and I'm just fascinated.
IMP.
The biz nasty like bridge somewhere. Imagine that you build yourself a suspension bridge.
I think I would start with a house.
You gotta light a bowl at one end.
If he's not confident that this thing's gonna stay up, I think I should just sacrifice my own life as opposed to maybe a lot of people driving on this bridge. But all right,
what would you have done?
I don't know.
Was there a plan B for
a
you?
lawyer, because he can argue like a madman.
No, it's a cliche answer, but I was like the kid who was like, I never thought about anything else.
Yeah.
And looking back, I guess that's not a great thing. That's why my parents used to say, like, you got to be more well-rounded, but I never ever thought I was gonna do anything else but play in the NHL.
All right,
I was the same way. I get it.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. It could have been kind of ugly if I'd busted my ankle when I was 16, not after I signed a big deal. Like, I don't know. What would I have done?
Right.
But
Well,
it's hard.
I want to know what RA would do if he wasn't podcasting.
He did it.
Yeah, I did have 7 careers before this. But remember I sent you guys, it was for my 10th, like I was in like the 4th grade, and there was every year the teacher would have you write an autobiography, even though you're only 10. And I had it said, when I grow up, I want to be either a movie director, an astronaut, or a Playboy photographer. I was like 10. Now they send me their fucking principal's office.
Yeah, well, listen, KFC radio listeners, this dude got a Playboy subscription when he was in
May as well
grade.
be
It was medical.
It may as well be a prescription.
5th grade.
I said prescription on the podcast.
grade,
that's why
dude.
Basically, I was probably 13 or 14. Yeah, and how I got it, my mother she was pretty cool
Just say
about
mail
that
to
shit.
the house and
Well,
everything?
remember Publishers Clearinghouse? I think they're still around there. Like, they would say, you may have already won $10 million or whatever.
I got
and,
Sports
and
Hill for
so the way
kids.
to enter, the way to enter was you had to like buy a couple magazine subscriptions. So I checked off Sports Illustrated and Playboy, and you're already on some mailing list. They don't know how old you are. And then like 2 months later, hitting the plastic bag, Playboy magazine. Like,
Did you have to like
like,
run
all right,
home? Like,
No, my mother was actually pretty cool about like, you know, I mean, she knew we were like boys because I legit read it and like the whole like it was like
the article.
Actually, the first time ever.
Well, I'll say, who was it? Glenny Balls, who went through one recently.
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
bang
dude, it
on.
was sticky.
I
The
used to
pages
think
were sticking
Playboy was
together.
so overrated because
yeah.
you wouldn't even see a naked chick till halfway through the fucking.
He was like on
magazine.
page 75.
I
you
used
see
to
a
get the
nipple.
Fox ones where
People-
girls are just jamming their mitts with like big fat fucking dildos.
Oh, the ones that are
they used
covered
to
up?
they used to have a page that
yes.
was the girl, and then there was a like a dartboard on it where you could shoot
Bro,
your load.
bro.
You could shoot your load onto the page. And
Yes,
it-
there was.
Oh yeah.
I fucking
Oh,
we used
down
to go
boy,
to-
down boy.
we
I
used
don't
to
know.
go to-
I would never
I used to
defile
go
a Playboy.
Every summer I go to Providence College hockey camp, and it was 2 weeks overnight. Or it was 1 week, but I would do 2. And we would have this fucking porn mag that we'd pass around. It was like a hustler.
God.
Maybe Fox. It was one of those gritty ones. And
gritty.
dude, the pages got stuck together because kids were aiming at the fucking
Oh,
to the
that's
target.
just-
The target.
Kids were fucking.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
passing it around.
And now
Fucking
Glenny's
animals.
doing
It was
reviews
called
of it.
Peter North Target Practice because he used to shoot
Bro,
those.
we would fucking try and hammer it.
How do
Yes.
this is probably a question for all the listeners? Like, how do you? Well, somebody out there. How did Peter
You aim
North?
your load?
How did he get?
do it?
How did he get
said
the
he
bat?
was-
Sit on a
said he
bag
would
of
eat
peas.
celery.
Sit on a bag of
He
frozen
said
outlets.
he
But
used to eat.
listen,
He
You can
used to
do
eat
that.
celery. That's
you
what he
can
said.
do that. You can sit on the peas. That guy's got natural.
So
talent. that guy
yeah.
just whips up a batch that's just bigger
I mean,
than
there's a
everybody else.
strong amount of people that are listening to this have probably watched a Peter North compilation of him coming on chicks'
I'd
face.
say 100%.
Hey, the funniest is when he's doing it and it just keeps coming out and the girl starts
going.
She goes out of character and she just
She's
starts
like, oh,
laughing.
Yeah, she breaks.
She's like, "What is happening?"
Don't break! Don't break!
He's like Jimmy Fallon on SNL. This is ridiculous.
And you know he's sitting there like, I'm not even halfway done. We've got like 7 more ropes to go.
So, all right, can you remember the first one you got? Who was on the cover?
No, I don't. I
know your
say my
favorite cover?
I still, you know what? When I one of the few moves I've had since college, I've been carrying them around from cellar to cellar. I'm like, you know what? I can't. I got to get rid of them. It broke my heart. No, this was years ago. But I did keep the Drew Barrymore one that I stole on a road trip to go see the Stones in college. It was like a
Barrymore
something-
did Playboy?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
94, I believe. Yeah, I think it was
I
December
want to see
94.
everyone naked.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
Oh, I'll watch-
Yeah.
I'm not super trying to
I
do
will
that.
watch
I'd love to see her naked.
anybody's sex tape, man. I'll watch anybody fuck.
Right,
Watch
I
Poor
would
Boys.
watch you fuck.
Yeah.
Without question.
I don't want to watch me. I don't want to watch me
watch
fuck.
Heartbeat.
I don't
I
can't
watch
imagine anyone else would.
anybody.
I'm not gonna pull my pud to it, but yeah, I'd fucking
Never
watch
had
it.
a
sex
KFC
tape came out, I'd be
stroking off
watching
the
it.
day.
Never had-
Dude,
I won't
Wait.
get aroused. I mean, maybe
Wait.
get aroused. I don't know. But I will watch anybody fuck.
Maybe in college I might not watch me, but not now. I'm all set now. I don't blame you. I wouldn't want to see me banging on camera.
I
either.
would.
No,
Yeah,
I
I don't
ended
wanna
up,
see
I ended up
me,
saying
but
I'd
watch
watch it,
anyone
I
else.
think.
Yeah, it's like a nature film. Like you watch it like through closed hands. Like, but
The list of people I wouldn't watch fuck is like
Is zero.
like Osama bin Laden.
I'd watch. Are you kidding
You
me?
would watch
I'd
Osama bin Laden
absolutely
fuck?
watch Bin Laden.
I don't know if I could do that one. That would be a little too
Who
much.
about the politician Christie?
Chris Christie. I want to see how it happens.
The physics of it has to get his
I
dick
want to
out.
see where that goes.
He has to
I'm
literally lift
absolutely
his
curious.
poopa and then let that thing out
Yeah,
of its cage.
exactly.
Bro, you seen him in
Jesus
softball
Christ.
pants or baseball pants?
If you could pair the best sex tape to release in the next like month, who would it be?
I mean, you
Right
probably want to
now?
go on the hot, good-looking version of that. Like, I mean, are we talking like on the
No,
lowest scale?
I
like
was
in
just looking
general?
for a combo from you guys. I was just trying to spark it up here.
So in the next month. So I'm trying to think like.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you could have it
who's out
come
right
out,
now?
you'd just
Yeah,
be like, wow,
yeah,
this is
yeah.
like, this would be a,
Yeah.
wow,
Ben
this
and-
would break the internet more.
Ben and J-Lo. Ben and J-Lo.
Oh, yeah, what an answer.
Hey, with that big old phoenix tattoo on his back. J-Lo's grabbing the bird with her nails.
You know that she's
She's like a pterodactyl clawing at him and shit.
Hey, I think if they got somewhat of a connection, if I'm him,
Oh, yeah.
lock her up.
Yeah, man.
It would be
But
tough.
she can't.
In the
She's
good
not
way.
fifth marriage.
Yeah,
man. She
she's-
can't be locked up.
Yeah, she's.
You can
fucking
try.
ring collector.
You can try, but she's.
Isn't
the one-
A-Rod now crushing his ex?
I'm sure.
Yeah, that was the
you almost have
retaliation.
to,
No,
right?
oh, you mean Ben Affleck's ex?
A-Rod. So
No.
yeah, J-Lo's ex.
Affleck has about 90
A-Rod
exes.
is crushing Affleck's
Yeah,
ex.
they did a little switcheroo.
That you have-
Really? I didn't know.
Wait, not Anna De
This
Armas, but-
might
No,
have been
no,
one of
no.
those
He-
ads on the app.
Yeah.
that
No,
just pop up.
Biz
It's
is
like-
talking about A-Rod getting back with his original wife.
That's
No,
what
you're talking about
I meant A-Rod and
Ben Affleck's.
Ben
Yeah.
Affleck's.
So like almost
Oh,
like,
Jennifer Garner.
Like a
No, it's not
retribution.
Jennifer Garner. It's
Anna
a
De Armas.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
No,
the one
she
from
was
Knives Out.
But that is like you almost have to do that as like a
No, what
I
the
have to
woman
show
was
you
not a
back up.
famous.
All right, now
actress,
we
I
got to
don't
trade. Make sure everyone has the same herpes virus. Yeah, so like, let's do a little squid
Dude,
and straight up.
that's a good pick by you though. I was gonna say Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox right now.
Oh,
The
that's-
it
Yeah.
couple.
Are they the it couple?
I would say they're the newest it couple, but those two are like they've had the game for like 20 years.
Back to the career thing. No, honestly, Kev, I didn't grow up. The only thing I want to do as a kid growing up was be a fireman like my father. He was a Boston firefighter. Like every little kid grows up, wants to do what their dad did. And that was like the obvious thing. But as I got older, I got to like, all right, do I want to go? Because you had to go in the service to get you to become a veteran if you wanted to get on when I was trying to get on. I was like, nah, you know what? I should go to college. Like none of my cousins had graduated from college before on like my mother's side of the family. So I ended up choosing that route. And it took a little while to find, career happiness, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it. Like I got to a point like I used to get despondent every time a fire truck went by because it's
Really?
like fuck. I used to want to do that, and then I realized like you know what I probably wouldn't have been the best fireman. Like I wouldn't want to rely on me pulling me out of a
No,
fire. So it's like
man.
no,
Some
Buildings,
kids
buildings
like,
burning.
No,
He's lighting
he busted through the window. They're like,
I could have been I could have been a bronze plaque by now.
My dog's still in there, and this is the guy
I
they sent.
actually got here, and that's who it is. No, Ari, remember when we when we started this show, and like at the beginning, we didn't get paid for at least like 5 months. I would say we didn't make a
Yeah,
dollar.
we're still making our bones.
Yeah,
a
and
little
well,
bit.
then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, here's $1,000." They sent us like $2,000 cash, Barstool. We were like, and after you were saying like, "Dude, I've been writing for this site for 10 years," and like just to get a little money from it was
Yeah.
just the beginning. It was.
After-
I was happy
That's
for
the
you, Dad.
understatement
Thank
of
you.
the fucking century.
Yeah, after every September
Dave said
email
no to him
Dave. So yeah,
400
so can I
times.
get paid for a blog this year? And then it was like wait, A, B, C, or D. It's like all right, whatever. But I'm like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna punt and be like and take my ball and go home and start a fucking WordPress that 200 people read?
Well, that's why
Or-
Dave did it. He
well,
knew what he had.
Right, and it's like, all right, or stay, ignore that, keep grinding, and have the whole fucking planet see what I have to say.
I mean,
so,
yeah, what you guys have done
patience is a
fucking
virtue.
Bananas. It's crazy.
It's been fun.
I mean, he took over the whole fucking space, man. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy.
RA and Witt started it all. Grinelli hopped on board, and I was fortunate enough to get the nod, the late call-in. So it's been a very special run. We were just talking about it with Kevin Weeks. Like since we've been here, or since I've been here, everything that we want to try, we have not been told no.
Yeah,
And fortunately for us, it's turned out to, some of the things have turned out to be pretty big. Other times you might land on your face, but ultimately that's one of the special things about working for this company is just your what's the word I'm looking for?
Your support.
Creative freedom.
Creative freedom. Thank you, RA. Suck it, Whit.
No, hey, listen, I just tried to help. If you want to say suck it, go be a fucking architect. KFC, we've known each other a long time, and I remember I was in Secaucus working at the NHL Network. So you go to Gross Secaucus. You're at the network like during the day, at night, and the podcast had began maybe a year before that. Biz was on board, but I definitely felt like, wow, we're getting bigger. We're getting, get some more traction. And you sent a text to me. You're like, dude, this is amazing what you guys are doing. It was out of the blue. It was really nice of you. And I remember thinking, like, he's been doing this a long time. Like, for him to say,
it was very clear that you had something.
Yeah, he's like, you said that you guys are killing it. I'm like, all right, that felt really good. That felt really good because it is true. At the time when it started, I did not think. I didn't have the nerves of like, wow, I'm kind of putting myself out here. I'm lucky I didn't think that way. It was also so small to me that I was like, I don't even know if people will listen.
Yeah.
But when you get into the game, you start thinking like, oh, fuck, I hope people like this. It's just so natural. And then, so to get support and your text, that meant a lot. But then as it's grown and when he came, it just exploded. And I think he was a big reason.
Natural is the way to put it, though. I mean, I feel like you guys having the hockey background, you as like the diehard fan, you guys obviously being in the league, is a big help, but
we're all different.
The
too.
natural, but it's like you guys. There's plenty of fucking players who know the game, right? But the ball busting and like the humor and the language and the slang and like all that shit, I think is what the big draw is. I could listen to you guys just fucking talk about. I mean, I guess that's what the podcast is. You just listen to you guys talk.
It's
but
become
the
that,
way you guys talk
we
is
might
so
have to do KFC
funny.
radio style and not even talk about hockey anymore.
Well, that's what you're fucking lucky. That because people are like, what is your podcast about? I'm like, how dare you ask?
Loads.
I have no fucking clue, and don't you dare listen to it because I say stupid stuff on it.
What's
Joe Rogan's about, man?
Yeah, but that's the thing is if you don't have a specialization or whatever,
hard.
it's like, and the name is so stupid. The name is the worst podcast name in the history of the world, and so people don't know what it is or why to listen.
Yeah.
Where it's like you'll tune into you guys for hockey, foreplay for golf, and then you'll talk about whatever you want, really. But there's a reason, and for us, it's like I don't really know.
Well, you
Maybe
you
drawing
guys
in the new guys because
you
you
guys-
have your diehards, but
yeah,
the new guys.
but getting
it's
that new piece of why listen. I actually originally I wish it was just called like the Barstool Sports Podcast because it was just about sports and chicks and viral videos and pop
stuff
culture.
at this company.
But yeah, and so it would have worked, especially when it was the only podcast. But Dave wasn't on it, so it couldn't really have that name. Blah blah blah. I never thought it was gonna be a big thing, so I was just like, I don't know. I was thinking of it as like radio stations have like the letters, like the call letters. You know what I mean? So I was like KFC radio. And
just love
had
the
I
fan.
known it was going to be like this, I don't know. I would have put much more thought into it because it's.
Do you get
about
asked
chicken?
Do you get asked about the 1 Minute Mans quite a bit on this show?
Yeah,
Do you guys talk about
that's when we. A lot of the guests we've been interviewing will be like, "Oh wait, like
You're the
I've
1
seen you on
minute man."
Instagram."
Did you have any
That
second thoughts
feels good.
branding yourself as the 1 minute man?
Don't give a fuck, man. Whatever.
Hey,
Sponsored
that's
by
really
Roman
fine
Swipes.
with me.
You know how many girls are going to recognize you from
That was
1
Whit's
minute, man?
nickname
You
in
can at least
college.
give them the opportunity to experience a 2 or 3 minutes.
Whatever. I'll prove you wrong. I'll prove you wrong.
I'll,
Give me
I'll,
2
I'll,
minutes.
I'll
That
quit
wanna
on
bet?
swinging.
That was it's kind of comparable to the not really, but we were having a debate the other day on the podcast. Would you switch lives with Richard Gere? And it's not fair playing with you guys because you're like you're already good.
Richard
but, like,
Gere?
Do you know the urban legend about Richard Gere? You know him? He's the actor from Pretty
Yeah,
Woman.
I knew he was an
There's-
actor.
so there's
There's Stallion back in the day.
There's a rumor though, like an urban legend, that he puts gerbils in his ass.
And like one time I had one stuck in it.
That's
Yeah.
like that was a
This is
curb.
like
that
a
was a
puppy,
curb
like-
episode, I think.
Yeah, like it's a pretty
it Curb one?
prevalent rumor.
Well,
was a
yeah,
Curb
for that
episode.
for
Larry
them
got
to
a
throw
gerbil
it
in
in
his
Curb,
ass.
it's either that it was a very funny rumor that they all had a good laugh about, or the fact that he knows that it's true.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't.
How
think
big's a
it's
gerbil?
True, and I don't get.
I mean,
Yeah,
too big to go in my
I think
ass.
you
Big
put
to
it
have
in
in your
an
ass.
and it's
Yeah,
clawing
yeah.
and eating
I don't
something.
think that
It's
I
a-
don't
it's-
even get it.
well, it's a
but-
big well, I don't know if it's a big fetish. It's
But
part
it
of
is
a
a
fetish
thing?
community, among a certain subset.
But so
and
this guy, you say he's a stallion. He's made money. He was in Pretty Woman. He's this handsome actor.
Officer
But
and a gentleman.
every room he walks in, 75% of the room's going, that guy puts a gerbil in his ass. So I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that life. No matter how good the rest of it is, I don't want to be known as the guy with the gerbil.
I mean,
in
they-
my ass.
I was saying today, like my ass is so itchy just from sweating outside that like I keep doing this in my seat, and I'm like, if I was Richard Gere, people would be like, he's got a gerbil.
Oh,
in his
it's
ass.
up there right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's up
Anytime
there.
you're squirming,
Like,
there's a
even if
gerbil in that guy's ass.
Even if it is a bad rumor, you got to admit, even if he has an ass itch, he probably avoids touching
Right.
it
He's sitting
because
there
in
so
public
so
he
he
knows
can't-
people.
don't
It's in the
touch
back
it.
of everybody else's
But I
mind.
think it's like cool to have a story where like people are like, oh, like if I'm on the street corner and I'm Richard Gere, and I kind of just like go like this, I got like my nuts stuck, and like people are like, I saw Gere today, he had a gerbil in his ass, and like
No
you
doubt.
want to send
that.
a family home with like.
I
a
also
story.
think if it's a rumor of that size, that if it wasn't true, you'd come out and squash it.
Well, that it was.
Yeah,
it
but
was
then
back
it's
in
a
the
public-
day.
But
Would
then
you
you
though
validate
make a
it, like,
statement.
you know,
I'm
'cause
here
it's-
to tell you.
I mean, that's
I've
like
never put a gerbil
I
up my
wouldn't do
cornhole.
that, but wouldn't you like I think it was back in like the 90s when it was like no comment was how you handled shit. But right now, if someone made a rumor that you put gerbils up your ass, I feel like you.
I would make a joke about it back.
A gif about a gerbil, or you
I'd post a
lean
photo
into-
of my asshole and say, hey, look how tight this thing's in. There's no way a fucking...
This thing's a fucking
not even
balloon
a-
nut.
Not even a baby gerbil could get in this fucking thing.
Oh, man,
I don't
love
like
it.
the butt.
would
I
make
don't
like
like
a-
the butt play. I had there was a back in the day we had a stewardess for the Coyotes. She was good looking, and I was in my single days, and she tried to get me into the butt play with a finger up, and I just
Not
No,
into it,
you
huh?
threw her down.
Not a modern man.
I
huh?
was like accepting at the beginning of like, okay, like does it end
Is she
up
touching
like,
my taint, or is she
no,
going?
no. I would say
went
she
in.
probably had about that much,
Like a knuckle.
Moon
one
River.
knuckle, and I'm like, it's not getting any better. I'm like, she was keeping it in there while I was getting tugged.
Yeah,
right?
and it just wasn't doing
she
it
was
for
sitting
you.
teepee style, and yeah, I couldn't get past the butt play.
She was sitting cross-legged like at the
On the yeah. After
It was like the scene from Ghost
No.
when it was his hog.
no, legit. She, they would clean up the plane after we would leave, and then she a couple times, we had a little, we had a little
So you were
fling.
just plugged. She wasn't like in and out. She just plugged it
She
and jerked
plugged
it.
it, and she
Yeah.
was moving around a
Little
little bit
prostate
to
check.
try to, and
Yeah.
it just I couldn't.
Wasn't for you, huh?
It
But he
wasn't-
got in the lineup that
Teach
next
their
game,
own.
so he's like, "Gotta do it again."
and then I shot a load that fucking blew up my ceiling fan. What was that movie? Van Wilder.
Just come in the ceiling.
Oh, I hate this. Oh. It's like,
All right, let's
Wait,
go next
before
door.
that, show them the video from today.
If it's gross, I'm not watching.
No,
It's
no.
not
So
gross. It's
so
not
there,
gross.
so there's
It's a
there,
fucking
Biz sent me
teeth.
the one of the balls coming out of the guy's asshole.
No, this is
okay,
not
so that's
disgusting.
Tom
This is
Segura
funnier.
posted
No.
that video.
So,
of the
so
guy
this
pooping
is
out his balls.
there's a new Netflix show that's like a 50 Shades of Grey thing. It's like porny and it's so the premise is
for
there's a-
chicks that don't
gonna get
actually
my-
get laid.
pretty much right.
Yeah.
So there's a housewife who's like sick of her boring marriage and she's like rekindling with her old boyfriend who used to pound her out, right? And then the husband finds out about it and starts stalking him. So this is him. This is the husband.
Sounds like Richard Gere in that movie with the
Yeah.
French guy.
Right. He's got,
Oh, yeah.
so this is
Unfaithful.
This is the husband, right?
Adrian Lyne.
And this is the guy that the boyfriend.
Lyne.
And so he stalks him all the way to the gym. They go to the gym together. Bah!
Oh my God, what's this?
That guy has all.
Oh,
That-
you just had to
His
see
face is-
that's what his wife's getting.
No way.
Absolute
Look at this
rope.
fucking elephant.
Like,
Hey,
is that
I don't
what-
want
what-
that.
That's a show.
I
What
don't
show
need
is this?
It's on Netflix, bro.
I don't
So
know
so I
that. I wouldn't
googled it,
want
and
that.
the actor
I
actor
tend to
said,
agree with you. I'm like,
I want that for like a week. I want to work with it and see what it does,
I
and
wanna-
then I want to be done.
if
with
I
it.
had that, I wouldn't fuck. I'd just go to gym showers.
Just be like, look at this.
Because guess what? The girls aren't like,
Yeah.
oh, get that the
I-
fuck with me.
I-
Guys,
I
I'm
think
going
bigger
with
than-
it.
I'd be like
Hot, that's
Portnoy
what I
and make
want.
sure
I
my
think
sex
it
tapes
just goes
sex
up.
tapes
Ah,
leak.
yeah. So
I
it's
don't think it grows,
so
I
it's
think it
it's
just
a
goes
fucking
upwards.
what do you
Hey.
call it? A show and not a grow.
Yeah.
If Dave had that, his sex tapes wouldn't always
He'd
be
be worth
hiding
$1 billion.
his piece.
He'd be worth
Those
$1
would all
billion.
He
be
hides
out
his
there.
piece on purpose in those videos.
He'd have four.
You never
If
see
I
it,
had-
right?
if I had that-
carrying around a
Yeah,
wrench
he'd-
that's
he'd have
9
4
inches
houses
tall.
in
If I had
Miami.
that, I'd wear leggings like Biz.
You can't tell me tons of girls are looking for that size.
No,
cock.
I,
That's
no
I
chance.
think that girls want like one time with
Nah,
that.
5'2" and under. That's a rough ride.
I think I think they would like to see it hard and be fascinated that
Yes.
an actual
and
penis can get that
it
big.
doesn't fit.
No, he
and
looks
you're
and he's
not
like, "Don't
good,
worry,
but they
man."
want it once.
He's like, I'm actually not a grower though, so you don't have
yeah,
to worry.
just
about
things
it.
shrinks.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard. to
Bro, where'd it go?
And shout out to the Chicklets gang, the architect, Paul Bissonette, the architect.
Yeah, he's got that. Biz is a brain you might want to buy.
You know what?
Biz is a good one. To
I
buy.
know he is a smart like he is the perfect blend of like meathead, funny, but like a good businessman. Makes a lot of money, makes a lot of smart choices, knows what he's doing. He's the one who took like Chicklets to the next level. If he dedicated that weird bird brain to architecture, he could do it. Maybe like an architect's assistant. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.
Like, comment, do all the fun stuff, all the YouTube stuff you're supposed to do. Do that stuff.
Because if you don't,
Your grandma's gonna die tomorrow. One of you that will.